Studio 110.live, Dirty Harry back in the captain's chair doing what I do mostly of the time the best, right? All right, it's a Friday afternoon, not nearly as warm as it was yesterday in the greater Pacific Northwest. I think we reached about 81 freaking degrees yesterday, a little cooler today, and believe me, I'm not mad at that. I like the sunshine out here, but I don't like it when it's too hot. Definitely didn't dress for the occasion yesterday. But you know what? I've dressed for the occasion today. I got to give a big shout out to my boys who happen to be in the studio right now. My guys that represent the High Children. They tore the roof off that. You know what? Last night at Substation in Seattle. Great turnout. Hip Hop 2.0, y'all. And man, we had fashion out there. We had the Oi brand. We had Trash by Tony. And a lot of up-and-coming emerging fashion designers out here from the Northwest. Blessed that stage. We had music. Shout out to all the other artists out there that came out to support. What a great cause last night. Hip Hop 2.0 Substation. Good venue, and looking forward to partnering up with that venue and those crew members out there a little bit more often coming here on the horizon. All right, any other shout outs I need to give? Not at the moment. Super excited about today's show. Today is definitely is a big show for a number of reasons. The main reason is a true dear friend of mine that goes, and you guys hear me talking about him all the time on my show, pretty much daily, because that's just what I do around here. He goes by the one and only DJ Nasty Nest. Now, Nasty Nest and my show producer Erica had something going for the last week. Not like that, but they built up this huge surprise. So last night when I went to Substation, I'm walking into the venue and I see Nasty Nest sitting there, and I'm thinking, like, am I dreaming? Like, is this reality? Like, could this actually be happening? Nasty Nest is just sitting there, and I said, Nest, like, how are you here? I mean, you know, he's been a friend of mine for over 20 years. How are you here right now? And he says, like, this has been planned for over a week. And I had to come up and surprise you and go on your new radio show and come to your big launch party tomorrow night. And that shows you right there that that's what real, true core friends are about at the end of the day. You know, we don't mess around. Ness and I, we're not in the business of burning bridges with people and staying humble and keeping that ego in check. That's what we do. All right. So with that being said, Ness, first of all, happy birthday. The biggest, warmest happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
That I can give to you, and I don't think you could have ever. I mean, obviously you have a beautiful wife down in Los Angeles, and hopefully she understands that you're up here with great company, great friendship with your boy Harris, Dirty Harry up here. But I really appreciate not only you spending your birthday with me, being on the air with me, bringing in our group to the studio, the High Children, Jason and Jamal, a local group out here that's absolutely just tearing the roof off the mother. I mean, emerging out of here, full rotation, C89.5. Shout out to our mutual friend, John McDaniel. Sold out concerts. I mean, there's just a lot of big things in the works about the High Children. So you better recognize that name, and that name will be soon a dinner table conversation. All right, so first off, Ness, happy birthday. Thank you for being up here. And you're definitely, not only are you a mentor, you're a close friend, you're someone that I've always looked up to, someone that I can always pick up the phone and call if I have a question, you and I both. And there's not a lot of people like that that have that type of relationship, A, with you, and B, with me. And that we just, it's a real, it's a real good collective friendship and effort, and it's a good overall connection. So I want to thank you for surprising the hell out of me and coming up here and supporting me and my new show. And I really appreciate it, Ness.
So can I talk now?
You can.
You know, you set a world record for me with a mic in front of me. I didn't say nothing for 5 minutes. And I was trying my best not to talk.
That's why I'm a good radio host. So yeah, I can talk.
I need to talk. But you know what's funny? About 20 plus years ago, when I was on KCMU doing Rap Attack, you used to answer the request lines for me, and that's where I said, you know what, we got to give him a name. We're on a rap show, and we can't use his real name, so we're going to call him Dirty Harry. Yep. And it's so weird how I used to interview you, and now here we are, like 20-something years later. I'm on the opposite end, and you're interviewing me, and you're doing a good job, man.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And then just to hear him go on stage and go, make some noise, yo, we're in the house. This is Dirty MF Harry. I said, is that the same guy discovered 25 years ago?
It's the same guy, and you know, I don't want to. I want to. We have such a busy show today, and I want to get to it. But one thing that I do want to say, and this goes for everybody. I don't care what business that you're in. And I touched on this earlier. It's not only about just keeping bridges in line and never burning bridges and really enhancing these relationships, whether it's personal, friendship, business. But there was that one day, I'll never forget the day. I knocked on your door and you had no idea who I was, and you gave me that shot. And that shot translated in me having the opportunity to talk to Russell Simmons at Def Jam Records in New York, to being Def Jam's West Coast representative, and then emerging into Cube 93 and having that be my home for 19 years and all the summer jams, 14 years of summer jams. And it was a great run, and I credit all the success to you, because we all have people that really open the door for us and create these new, fun, inner pathways, especially in the music business. And, you were the one. You were the one, hands down, that created that for me.
Well, one thing I really remember was when I had my offices, Crazy Pinoy Promotions, I had to go out of town, and you heard me talking about I'm leaving town. He goes, well, do you need someone to take your records and put it in your office or hold them for you while you're gone? Mm-hmm. I go, wow, this guy's pretty nice to offer that, and I don't have to pay you to do it. And I trusted you with the keys to my office. You put the records in. You would call me to let me know what records came in. And right then and then I knew there's something special about you. And back then you weren't dressed in GQ. You definitely didn't look the part of some guy that listened to hip hop, because you really didn't listen to hip hop back then. But there was something about you that you were smart, reliable, trustworthy, and you had a lot of love in your heart. And I decided to take a chance and give you an opportunity to work with me at Crazy Pinoy.
Yep.
Which led to KCMU Rap Attack. And when I helped you out to get on Cube, I was only expecting you to be an intern there. but
you thought I'd be an intern for 19 years of my life?
Well, about 15 years.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
right.
but I was really proud to see how you developed your career there for 19 years.
I was actually never an intern there. I was never an intern because I came from Def Jam, so I was immediately on payroll over there. At the first company was New Century Media, owned by Barry Ockley. Then I went to Clear Channel. Then I went to iHeart. So.
Wow. See? Amazing.
So I hope you're having a wonderful birthday.
I am.
And if I would have had more time today, believe me, I would have gone and got you a persongetting birthday cake. But,
no, you don't have to do that.
But the day is still young, so there's still plenty of hours. With that being said, all right, getting brewing at the basics. One of my lines that I always like to say here. We have a lot to talk about, Ness, and you're going to be on with me for the next hour. But I want to welcome our group that we both co-manage here, called the High Children. They're, like I said, power rotation at C89.5. You can hit up John McDaniel's staff, request the song. You will hear it in your speakers. First off, I want to welcome to the show here Mr. Jamal, one of the other better halves of the High Children. Thank you for being here. Great show last night, man. You did your thing like you always do. And of course, my boy here, Jason, the other member of the High Children. We got Takesha, one of the artists in association with the High Children. So it's a great, exciting show, and I couldn't have asked for a better show today to kick off a wonderful Friday afternoon going into the weekend for my big launch event party happening in place tomorrow. All right. Woo! With that being said, you got whoever wants to answer the question can. But first off, how do you guys feel in your current state where you guys are at right now? Not only having a headphone brand, Fan Stereo, being on these shows, being at these sold out shows, being in full rotation at C89. Talk about that feeling right now, guys.
It feels great, man.
If you can come closer to the mic here.
We're hanging out with Dirty Harry. It don't get no hotter than that, man. Plus, we got Erica, the producer. You know what I'm saying? Nastiness, Takesha, glad to meet you. Better than a double feature. Period, man. High Children right here. I love it.
And Jamal, what have you learned? What have you adapted? What have you gained just in the last 90 days in terms of you being half of the representation here of the High Children, like the platform that you're currently at right now? I mean, I know you're not satisfied with where you're at right now, and no one should be, because everybody wants to go from good to great, and going from good to great takes a lot of work. But you guys are showing, Ness and I, that you guys are emerging to that next counterbalance level ultimately. But in your opinion overall, where do you want to be?
Please believe it, people. Listen to me. If you want to be an artist out here, it's not like TV. It's not like the movies. They don't give you a contract and everything magically happens. It takes a lot of dedication and hard work. And we're actually still doing the hard work. We still got the dedication, but we got the super team with Nasty Ness and Dirty Harry. So it's all good, man. Just keep your eye on the prize, never stop. And that's what I've learned in the last 90 days.
And Ness, real quick, I want you to talk about how you ultimately discovered these guys, because I came into the play motion definitely a little bit down the calendar road. So talk about how you introduced these guys ultimately not only to the Northwest but to the country.
Well, I got to say, when you talk about the relationships, you know, my relationship with C89 and John go way back, like almost 20 plus years. And he remembers how I treated him back then with Nasty Mix Records. He would help me break some of our artists on his radio show. I've always been cool with him to this date, and I needed some extra help. I said, hey, I got this group, the High Children. I sent him like 4 songs. I said, pick one. Is there one you think would work on your format? Not knowing he would pick the single that none of us really thought was going to make noise, which is Hold Up. And, you know, so that guy goes to show, you know, you stay humble, you stay cool with each other like you and I. And that's one thing I don't like about sometimes with Seattle. They don't support each other.
No.
Like, we just had an incident recently, I won't say any names, where I really thought they're going to support us. And they didn't want to show us love. They even wanted us to take the hashtag off their name. And I was like, are you serious?
But you and I both know, Ness, that person one day will need your assistance. And then you never can forget that when they do call, you have to remember how you were treated up to this point. And that's just where you get some personalized T-shirts and you send them a little gift package in the mail that says Boom Squad. It's a big red T-shirt that says Boom Squad. So that's how that's done. So
you know what's crazy about that is that whole scene. We had a place back in the day, back in '99, called the Power Plant, where crews like that started getting together and learning their moves and becoming even bigger. But instead of us giving a package, what we want to do is show Seattle the way artists should help each other. And we just did that last night. We did the hip-hop fashion. It went off crazy.
It did.
We got fashion designers together, a brand new fashion line that we're going to see today. Oi brand. They got their first feeling of doing fashion. And look they're about to come up. We brought on the secret EDM band, and they had a blast. So the High Children is definitely open to listening to anyone that wants to be a part of the scene and helping them out, because it is very difficult.
So ironically, many years ago, I played one of their cuts on my radio show, and here we are, maybe 10 plus years later. I got a gig on PowerRadio.com, which Eric Powers was running after he quit that other station he used to be at, and I used to be at. But one of the songs he was playing on PowersRadio.com was a song called I Feel. And I go, man, what is this song you're playing? I've never heard it before, but they're dope. He goes, oh, they're from Seattle, the High Children. I go, I know those guys. I especially know Jamal, because Jamal, I've known him since he was like a teenager, and I know his dad really well. And so I got a hold of these guys, and man, it just, from there on, it just took off. You know, the way these guys are is like when I first met you. You know, reliable, honest, kind. You know, they have a big heart, and they love to work to reach that goal. They have goals, you know, and that's what it was. And I just, you know, that's what convinced me. I think it was when I Feel went #1 on the college rap radio charts, and then Underground DJs went #1. That's when I really knew something big was going to happen. And then when I put them on the Sway show, that's when I already knew, like, oh man, this group's going to be the next in Seattle to blow up. That's how it all happened.
And Nasty Ness, and I've talked about this many times on my show, so Mix-a-Lot wouldn't be where he was at today if it wasn't for you. You're the one that paved that door open ultimately to put some Mix-a-Lot on the map. Your home office down in Los Angeles at your beautiful home has plaques like a museum all over the wall. Talk about some of the other artists that you had the opportunity to break and put out on a national and international platform for the fan base out there to be able to recognize and support a lot of these artists that you've had the traction to work with.
Well, you know, a lot of the records I've broken and played on the radio where I got plaques for weren't just all hip hop. I mean, I've got plaques from the Fugees, Alexander O'Neal, Pebbles, Britney Spears. Ooh. You know, I mean, all the artists I've been responsible for premiering on Seattle radio for the first time.
Yeah.
But I do have a lot of rap ones too. Of course, NWA, Eazy-E, I was the first one to break them in the Northwest, Pacific Northwest, and I'm also featured on Eazy-E's single called Radio. Snoop Dogg, Ice Cube, Hammer, Rodney, all those cats, you know. And so, you know, when I first started out back in 1980, I didn't have any clue that I was going to be successful. I mean, reaping the awards of success from this. You know, I did it because I loved doing it.
Yeah.
I used to even go on the air for free and do gigs for free because I loved it.
Yep.
And that's what I told these guys. I said, when you do something and don't expect to get paid, like if there's only 3 people in the crowd, well, you perform like there's 3 people, there's 30,000 people in the crowd.
Exactly.
You know, so you pay your dues, man. You know, usually people that work for free or go out of the way to work overtime, that's when you know you love what you do. And then the riches will come from there.
There you go. If you're just tuning into the big show right now, Studio 110.live, Dirty Harry back on the air. Feels so good to be back in the captain's chair here at the top floor of one of our beautiful buildings here in downtown Bellevue. I've got the opportunity, and what an exciting day to have the legend DJ Nasty Ness. He surprised me, flew up here from Los Angeles, and our group, the High Children, Jason and Jamal. With that being said, I want to play their hit single right now that's in full rotation out here in Seattle radio, but people will have the opportunity to be able to hear it nationally right here, of course, on this show, Studio 110.live. So I'm going to play Hold Up right now, live on the air. Here you go, yo. I don't know why I'm not getting it through my board.
I never thought that I would see the day. It doesn't sound like this, but you would ever try to betray me. Nah, baby, I ain't trying to hear that, not even maybe. Whoa, and it never really takes too long. About the same duration of the song. For Dirty Harry to get it right. Cause right now he just has it wrong. Hold up, you told us, you show up, you ran your mouth, you sold out. Now I'ma show you what this battling trip is truly all about. Hold up, you told us, you show up, you ran your mouth, you sold out. Now I'ma show you what this battling trip is truly all about. Hold up, you kill that noise cause it's just begun. Hold up, you kill that noise cause it's just begun. Hold up, you kill that noise cause it's just begun. Hold up, you kill that noise.
Yeah. So living them on Desbez, big up, they just underground sound, let it digest, loveliness and nastiness. Here we are on 101 is the best. A.
There you go. I don't know why we're having some technical issues, but I'll make sure that those get addressed here sooner than later. Yes, Ness?
So did you guys witness what just happened? That's how professional these guys are.
Yes.
Most hip-hop groups, if the mic didn't work or something, they'll throw down the mic and get all mad and walk off the stage, right?
Yeah.
But you see what these guys did? So this is a lesson for a lot of you newcomers out there. You don't just walk off the stage and get mad and cuss. You improvise. You do the best you can to make it happen. And what these guys just did, now, I didn't even know they were going to do that, but they did the right thing by doing the acapella.
Yep.
And they sounded great.
They sounded great, and it actually sounded better than playing the. It would have been good. It would have been good to get an official spin count to enhance the brand. But you know what? I'm perfectly fine with an acapella over playing it down there.
Thanks for messing with my ass cap.
Yep. Well, I'll give you a couple bucks to supply that after the show this afternoon. Ness, when you're looking at ultimately signing and working with new artists that you talk to all over the nation and internationally as well, what are some key fundamental aspects that you look for when you're talking to new artists that are reaching out to you that need your help, like the High Children did ultimately? Well,
first thing they got to have is a radio version, because all of my radio stations, majority of them won't play your record unless you have a radio clean edit. So remember that. Always have a radio version ready. Also, if you're just talking about smoking weed, getting high, that kind of stuff gets kind of played, So you got to talk about something more uplifting and different, So I look for something different. I don't want something that stays the same all the time. I have bad eyesight, so I can't even see what you just showed.
Oh, that's okay.
Danny says make sure to mention Sway.
Make what?
Make sure to mention Sway.
Oh yeah, I did mention Sway. Yeah.
Yeah, we were actually just getting to that. So that's another cool. There's a couple cool things about the High Children and I'm just spitting out facts right now. And with that being said, not only have you guys been on Sway in the Morning out there in New York at Sirius, a legend in the business. But you guys have a headphone brand through Jay at Fan Stereo out there in New York, and my boy Walter Thurman, who was on with me the last week or the week before. I'm losing track of my days here a little bit because it's a busy show and I have a lot of guests coming through here. But Fan Stereo is definitely a cool, emerging, up and coming headphone brand, speaker brand that a lot of celebrities, you see them wearing them, and you can see that on their, of course, on their IG page, Fan Stereo. All right. With that being said, I want to go to Jason here for a second. Jason, you are. Between you and Jamal, you both definitely have different roles within the group. But with that being said, when let's talk about just kind of your daily focus in terms of what you think about, every morning to kick off your day to be able to make the High Children the brand that it needs to be ultimately, just from your proper counterbalance and your kind of business savvy mind.
When I wake up in the morning, it's 6 in the morning. And,
Police at my door.
Yeah, and my fresh Adidas squeak across the bathroom floor. And before I can think, Nasty Ness sends a text. He says, make sure you're on point or else I'm going to be vexed. Then Takesha gives me a text and she says,
I'm not ready yet.
She's got a mic right there. So.
And I said, you better get ready. All right, then bet. Then I call up Jamal and said, Jamal, we got a show. He says,
hey, man, I'm ready. Let's go.
So the High Children, we never going to quit. We always coming with the what? Hits.
Yep.
Nice. See, Ness, how many, you just brought up a good point. How many artists can just do that on the fly? I mean, there's very few that can just spit game like that and spit the appropriate game out there and just cause people to say in their cars or at their offices or wherever the heck they're listening to this big, huge show at Studio 110.live. Man, that was fire.
Can you do that one sound effect where you're punching and I'm going to pretend I'm punching, okay?
Go for it.
Go. You bastard, I'm going to beat you up with my kung fu.
Yes. That's one thing that people don't realize about Nasty Nessies. He's also an actor. He's a legend in the music business, but he's also an actor as well.
Yes,
I do it just like a Kung Fu flick. Go, give me some punches.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, they're always off. Now we're gonna put it on AWS platform, which speeds everything up. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I like having those fun toys, too. I like having those fun toys. All right, with that being said, you guys did an amazing show. We talked about it. Substation last night, Hip Hop 2.0, Trash by Tony. We got the Oi brand here in my studio. We're going to get them on here in a few minutes. Woo! With that being said, what are some upcoming shows that the Northwest, since we're broadcast from the Northwest, can come out and support you at? Let's talk about some upcoming dates.
Well, we got something going on tomorrow night. That's a secret.
Yes, that's a secret. And I know aren't there some upcoming shows besides tomorrow night that we can be talking about?
We have on Sunday.
Yes.
If anybody is in the Bellevue area at Barron's, we're putting on a charity event for Clean Water Foundation. So we can give the information if you go on Facebook. The High Children will give you all that information there. It's a 6-course dinner. All proceeds are going to Clean Water Foundation. Check that out. We got Hemp Fest coming up. I think we got a Capitol Hill Block Party, right, Harris?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of big emerging things in the works. With that being said, Ness, what makes you, from the level that you're at and the amount that you're respected overall in the music business today, from labels, shout out to my boy Izzy, our mutual friend Izzy, and people like D and John Horst McMahon, who runs Atlantic Records out there in New York. What satisfies you? What point do you ultimately want to reach, either with us as being the High Children or with other groups that you work with on a national level? What's that one thing that will just make you super excited? And if it's the High Children, hopefully it is the High Children. But what's the one thing that makes you just gravitate and just makes you smile when you look at yourself in the mirror?
Well, that when I'm gone, when I pass away, because it's going to happen, that these kids or people like you I ran into, that I affected your life in a very positive way. I gave up drugs, smoking. I don't even cuss anymore. I gave my life to the Lord. So I want to set an example to all these kids, because we don't have a lot of role models anymore.
No.
We don't have a lot of father figures anymore. If it wasn't for my teacher, Kung Fu teacher, Sifu Taki Kimura, I don't know where I'll be, So I want to be that person to just touch someone's life, whether it's in person, on Facebook, on Instagram. Just that would fulfill me the most, that if I help them in some way in a positive way, and that would make me real happy.
Yeah.
That no money in the world can pay for that.
There you go. There you go. And those are some real words coming from Nasty Ness. And I think I heard you say a similar version to that when you were on my guy Sway's show out there in New York City. So that's definitely powerful words.
You know, and the Sway thing, props to Sway. You know, that interview happened because of, again, relationships. I used to play his record on my radio. I used to sit in with him on his wake-up show. We've been good friends, and he's so large now, but he remembers me, and he gave us the opportunity to be on his show, you know?
Yep.
And I would do the same for him.
Let's talk about some other records in the catalog. Jason and Jamal, of course, the priority right now for radio purposes is Hold Up.
Yep.
Of course, there's some other records in the arsenal that are in the safe that haven't been put out yet, but will be getting out there fairly soon here for people like John to address, and Don, our buddy over at KXP here locally, two local stations for people listening nationally. I'm not trying to speak Chinese, but they are two very credible radio stations out here in the Northwest.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some other records in the catalog.
Yo, it's kind of funny, like the Easter Bunny, but everybody out there want to get that money. That's our new single. You can check it out on YouTube, The High Children. We got a banging video, you know what I'm saying? We got a remix that we're probably going to drop for you today, live and direct. And we also got a new joint that's like dedicated to that old school swag. It's called Throwbacks. You'll hear it, and you'll actually be able to sing along with the record as you're hearing it for the first time, and that's all I'm going to say.
I love that song.
Thank you.
What do you got, Jason? Oh, just another sound effect. I thought you were pointing to me like you had some breaking news story to talk about in relation to the High Children. I wasn't sure what the finger meant there, but thank you for clarifying by giving me a sound effect. I appreciate that.
A couple more joints too. We have 3 #1 college rap radio singles. We have I Feel, like Ness talked about. We have You Keep Me Happy. And then one that a lot of people love, we have a video off of that too. It's called Underground DJs. Check that out. Go on YouTube, The High Children, and watch Underground DJs. We shot that in an hour and a half.
Yes.
With our amazing
In
video
New York.
team.
In New
Times
York, that was
Square.
a good
Times Square is
Yeah,
dope.
we got Batman in there.
Yep.
Iron Man.
We got
Iron
Iron
Man's up
Man.
in
We got
there,
Minnie
yeah.
Mouse. You know, nothing says hip hop like Minnie Mouse.
And shouts to my girl Takesha, man. She been holding it down for us. She's on a lot of these singles. You're gonna be hearing her. And by the way, thank you for the backup on the acapella singing. That was dope.
You're
I
welcome.
like that.
You're welcome.
Well, of course
Thank
she's gonna
you.
do that. Yeah, pretty much every single joint. Anytime you hear the chorus, that's Takesha.
Yep.
Holiday, I Feel,
A,
Throwbacks,
a Star is Born, man. You're gonna be
Get
hearing
that
about this
money.
girl. Please believe it.
and when you hear Get That Money, yeah.
And she's part Filipino.
Oh.
Pinay. And that's a plus because I'm Filipino. Pinoy.
The best part.
I
Of
love
course.
that. I love that very, very, very much.
I knew you were
Thank
gonna throw that out
Oh
there.
yeah, I love that. Yeah, I love you. I love these guys. I love him. It's all about love.
If you guys were to ask me, in my opinion, what would give me the biggest smile and how the picture would look for the High Children, it would be being on a roughly $15 million yacht in the middle of Seafair Sunday around the hydros, having Jason and Jamal perform on top of the yacht, and then having every single person around the boats dancing to the High Children while the Blue Angels are flying over. That's what would make me happy. So
That sounds dope.
So now you guys can answer what would make you happy, Jamal. What's going to be a home run for you if you're the batter at home plate and you want to score, you want to get bases loaded and get everybody home to secure that win? What is it? Is it more radio airplay? Because radio airplay, believe me, isn't everything. It's important, but it's not everything. But what's Jamal's key to success for the High Children?
Look, man. Rewinding real quick to your vision about being on the yacht performing, if anybody could make it happen, it's Dirty Harry. Let's make that a priority, okay? But you know what, man? What I really want to do is I want to give back to the community, bro. I want to help the hood, you know what I'm saying? I want to help people. That will be the biggest measure of success for the High Children. By the way, shouts to Clean Water Foundation. Shouts to Jordan Strong. We're all about helping the community to rise up, and that's the most important thing as far as the High Children is concerned.
Yep. And Jason, can you give me your version of what would make you ultimately, what would just put the biggest smile on your face, even though people can't really see your face when you're live on there because that styling Kangol hat hides your face, but that's your look, You and LL are brothers. So what would make you ultimately happy to be able to just, tell the other local groups or national groups out there that, hey, start calling because you'll probably need my help here sooner than later.
So the question is, what would make me happy besides what Jamal just said?
Yeah.
It would make me happy if Dirty Harry got some dope freestyle skills. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So then we could just battle. Like we could have a whole show with just battling.
Live.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I only have one rap I did, by the way, at Roosevelt High School, but the high school that Nasty Ness and I both graduated from, and it's horrible. It's horrible, and I don't even want to go down that road. But if you guys want to laugh, I mean,
Let's go.
I would do it.
laugh.
I mean,
Yeah.
Do it.
Dirty Harry, let's
can't
get it. Let's get it. Hey.
Come on.
my name is MC Dirty Harry, and I'm here to say we have some serious problems in the USA. In many schools across our land, kids are messed up and drugs are out of hand. Parents, teachers, grown-ups, and friends, the pressure almost never ends. So listen, all you kids everywhere, we're bringing you a message from people who care. Drugs are wrong. Just say no. If you do, you won't be low. I was like 16 years old, a kid in high school, and I came up with that song.
What are you talking about? That's horrible. That was hot, bro.
I should have got a Grammy for that damn thing. So.
Yeah.
That was all right, but I'll destroy you.
All right, let's have a little battle. Now you go ahead. All right, I'm very competitive. So
Battle me.
yeah.
Lyrically, I'll kill you faster than a master disaster when I blast you. You're the past now, because I'm past you. 2 weeks later, I'll dig you up because I has to call a seance, bring you back to life and kill you one more time, you bastard. For even considering battling the high children, you never win. You met a limit, pure adrenaline. THC, higher than infinity, a higher than a Wonderland reality analogy. I spit so hard, it gets on the mic. But yo, I rap so hard, it destroys like a spike. And yo, despite the fact that I pause like that, Jamal will come through and bring it all right back.
Oh,
All right, so my version was like a Hyundai versus a Kia, and his version was like a brand new Bentley with with a drop top with a tan leather interior.
Real quick. This is some serious stuff right here. You know, when I went to Roosevelt, the teacher asked me, "What's your name?" I said, "It's Nasty Ness." "Well, you're about to take a test, Nasty Ness." I took the test, and I got a straight A's. You know why? Because I'm the best.
Nice. The legend right there, Nasty Ness, man.
Drop the mic.
I don't have that sound.
What advice, guys? What advice to Jason and Jamal and Ness do you guys give? Because there's a lot of upcoming artists that are listening right now trying to be able to just be comfortable enough to be able to perform, to be able to get into a studio, to be able to have the proper studio sessions, to be able to put out a record that they're going to be happy with. And you guys have been around. So what advice would you give to up-and-coming artists out there that are trying to be the next High Children?
Yo, a lot of these kids out here, man, they get caught up because they had a rough time getting brought up in an ill situation, you know what I'm saying? But I'm telling these guys, yo, you got to get out the streets, man. You got to get out the streets and focus on the business, all right? Stop fighting each other, man. Get along with each other, work together.
Yeah.
And that's the way you're going to really build relationships like Ness was talking about earlier, and then it's going to pay off for you. That's my advice.
There you go. That's some
that-
powerful advice.
To add to that, so that question always comes up from musicians. All right, what do you got to do? And then you always have this high-level answer. Here's what you have to do. Go get a job at Starbucks. Make some money, all right? Put the money in the bank. On the side money, put it into studio time. Go ask other people about what studios you can get at. Don't go buy the equipment. Just get in the studio and find if you have something good. Start working on that. Go try to find a show. Try to do the show for free. Do not pay for shows. Go find a show for free. Go play on the street. Go work at Starbucks. Get more money, make flyers. Start handing out the flyers. Keep doing shows, make a little bit more money. As soon as you're doing shows and people start checking you out, there's going to be club owners and there's going to be people that are in the music industry. They're going to notice you. Once that happens, don't sign anything. Keep doing everything on your own.
Yes.
Keep working at Starbucks. Get a better job maybe so you have some more money and pay for all your stuff on your own. When the time comes, you will have put enough money into your music that you will know what contract you should sign.
Right.
There you go. And Nasty Ness, what's the next thing that you want to accomplish? You've accomplished so much in your career, bringing out Sir Mix-a-Lot to the world, discovering yours truly, Dirty Harry, being a nationally recognized, very humble, very successful executive in the music business. With that being said, what's the next thing that you want to accomplish, though, that you haven't accomplished yet?
Well, I've been in 2 movies. House Party 4. Woo. Make sure you rent that on DVD or VHS. Kung Pao Enter the Fist, another one. I've been on a few TV shows. My biggest dream right now is to be in a big motion picture or a regular TV series. I figure today's my birthday, so I'm a year older. I'm getting older. But if Mr. Miyagi, Pat Morita, did it as Mr. Miyagi in Karate Kid, and he was old and played Arnold on Happy Days, I know I can do it too. So I want to, and I think it's almost that time for Asians to come up in movies and TVs, you know, and that's what I want to do. I want to be an actor, a popular actor, so I can spread my love to that market, you know, like I did with hip hop.
Yeah.
So that's that's what I really want.
And you live in Los Angeles, and I've told you throughout the years, if I can ever be of assistance to be able to introduce you to some people down in Hollywood where I have connections with, you can call me at 3 o'clock in the morning. Sure. Not too many people can do that. Pretty much you, my family, and maybe a couple other people. But you can always reach out to me, and I'll always help you in any way I can. And I would love to be able to go to a movie and see Nastiness on the big screen. How cool would that be? Especially to go to that nice theater over here in Redmond where they deliver dinner to your seat. They got these big, huge like beds. Yeah, they have like beds you can lay down and watch a movie, and it's a fun spot to be at. So Ness, this year should be a highly successful year for you on a personal level, on a healthy overall level. You're looking good. And in my opinion, if you didn't tell me it was your birthday today, I would have said you could pass for 41 or 42.
Thanks, man.
So, and then that's the truth. So.
Quentin Tarantino, where you at? Spike Lee, where you at? Hey, Spielberg, I know you listening, son. Put Ness in some movies, man. Let's get it popping.
It's all about giving back, you know. I learned a whole lot from my Sifu, my Kung Fu teacher, Taki Kimura. He taught me a lot of things that Bruce Lee taught him. And then I shared what I learned with you, and that's how you become successful. You share that with other people. So make sure you do the same thing for another person.
Absolutely, I'm doing it for these guys, for the high children, and for everyone else that I work with and try to help in any way I can. And hopefully, it makes you happy to see that the torch continuing to be passed appropriately.
And I knew you'd be perfect to fit into our family, and that's why I asked you to meet with us. Yeah. And you did, and man, see how things are happening, man.
I try my best. All right, I want to Jamal. I'm going to need you to just scoot a little bit over here to the left because I've got a limited amount of mics here.
Bye, Felicia.
Five mics sometimes isn't enough. Most studios have 3 or 4, lucky, and I have 5. But Kelly from the Oi brand, if you can pull this chair over to this mic here for me, and I want to welcome you back to the show here. You're becoming almost a regular staple on this big, huge program called Studio 110 Live. You can put the headphones on, please. I know you've also got one of your guests with you that represents the Oi brand. If you can come close to the mic here, I'd appreciate it. So, Kelly, a terrific job last night being part of Hip Hop 2.0 at Substation. Saw you unveil the brand. I was very impressed with not only your looks, but the other models' looks when they graced that stage in front of the Northwest crowd out there. And you know me. I mean, I've known you for some time, and I love fashion. When I'm not on the air, when I'm not conducting my daily business routines, I try to follow it as often as I can. So with that being said, let's talk about Oi brand. We touched on this a couple weeks ago when you guys were in the studio with me, an emerging up-and-coming brand out here at the 206, the Northwest. Where we at? I'm sure we've gained some traction from the last visit till now, and report to me where we're at overall right now with Oi.
Definitely moving forward.
If you can come a little closer for me, thanks.
After last night's show, it just motivated us to go even harder and went straight to the office and get things going and get prepared for what comes next.
Good. And I'm super excited about the upcoming collaboration effects with you and the High Children and future shows where we can get the Oi brand out there on stage to do fashion shows. And I want to start creating some fun. And I told the guys this. The guys know that if there's one business that I'm in, it's the 25 to 30 second IG video business. No one wants to see the flyers put on social anymore. That, in my opinion, that's 90s. Now it's because you want to feel the person, you want to feel their vibes, you want to have that one-on-one connection with the artist, with the fan base. So I want to be able to create some traction with the Oi brand, and everybody here as a collective effort to either come down to your headquarters or the next show that we do, really get the proper video in place so we can highlight the collaboration, because I want more people to be able to do this. Let this be the launching pad, the appropriate launching pad for a great collaboration like Oi brand and High Children. So I want that.
Agreed.
Yeah, so what did we came in today for a special purpose. I'm seeing a whole bunch of swag here in the studio here. What do we got here? What are we talking about? What's in that bag?
So we have a pretty awesome giveaway we're doing with you guys, and
awesome.
Lex with that. Got some gear, got some tickets, got some info on our brand, and
great.
Just a little bit of giveaways here.
Wonderful. Well, as soon as my show producer Erica gets back in here, she'll let me know the proper flight plan on how we're going to give these away. I know you're also going to be in attendance, hopefully tomorrow, for our big Studio 110.live launch party. If you can make it, I know there's a lot of details that I'm not even supposed to know about, but somehow I've been told a few. But I'll tell you, Ness, with you being in town, man, and you surprising me, and you being up here, I have to make a speech tomorrow night. I love public speaking. I love speaking to 10 people or 200 people or 22,000 people. So tomorrow night, be prepared and have the right, like you always do, have the right mental state when I pull you up out of the crowd to come up and properly introduce you to the crowd tomorrow night, and it'll be a great experience. From the kid back in the high school days knocking on your office door to you seeing a different platform now.
So should I bring Kleenex? You know me, I get really emotional really easy. I'm a man who's not scared to cry.
Because you're Filipino, that's
Well,
why.
it should make you emotional in the sense that you should be happy that you'll have your group performing here live at the big old Studio 110.live launch event. But then, it should make you happy just to see, how you've given me the proper growth pattern to be able to maneuver and ultimately get to the next step.
I'm bringing a box of Kleenex. So make sure you have someone filming that, because I can use that as my demo tape for a starring role.
Yep.
Because there's not very many big Asian guys that look mean and can cry.
Yep. Yep.
Show his soft side.
Yep. Yep.
You will see it tomorrow night. So be there.
There you go. And for all the people that will be showing up outside that won't have the access to get up here, tough luck. I mean, I've been telling you now for the last week, guys, to come out and support the event. And you know what? I'm going to bring one of my bullhorns from the house and go out on our patio here and just tease people when they're downstairs. I love doing that. It's their dang fault for not buying tickets before they sold out. So
Right.
that's not my fault, and I'm not going to feel bad for it. All right, Jason, when's the album going to be coming out? I know there's been a lot of speculation. We've had a lot of conversations when the High Children's next album will drop. There's definitely enough music in play to be able to put that album out. But have we discussed properly when the fans and the world ultimately can be able to hear the next High Children album?
Full album. So when you mentioned that it's very 90s to have flyers up, I think it's very 90s to have albums now, because there's not this solid thing that you buy where you have to have all the songs. But right now, available right now on Spotify or your favorite streaming channel is I Feel, it's You Keep Me Happy, Hold Up, that's on C89 right now, and a whole bunch of stuff. There's an album that no one's ever heard. We put it up. Check it out right now. It's not sample cleared, so listen to it before it gets ripped off of iTunes. But it's got a bunch of great songs on it, including 420. So I should have told you that maybe a few days ago, so you could have heard it then.
That's all right. And,
but as far as a full album goes, I think we're going to keep pumping out singles and just banging them out that way, because it's a lot easier. It's just a lot easier now.
I mean, I hear you, and I hear what you said about albums and flyers going back to 90s, but if Snoop Dogg is still putting out albums and these other big artists are still putting out albums, I think it would probably be I'd like to get Ness's thoughts and opinion on this, a legend, in the music business. But I think if Eminem can still put out an album, I don't care what level you're at. If you're the High Children, you're Eminem, you're Snoop Dogg, you're, a B-level artist, an A-level artist, a C-level artist, I think it's still a good thing to be able to put out a proper platform and motion into place to be able to let people hear, 6 or 7 tracks, and then they can decide which one they want to make their favorite track and start calling radio and requesting them. So
yeah, I think this day and age, a lot of kids and millennials are just buying singles. I don't think they're really buying albums. I mean, it's very rare. Maybe if you're Cardi B, or the anticipation of Kanye West's new one. Where a lot of people,
he has 2 actually he's putting out.
Yeah, and the feedback's been it's not going to be good, or is it going to be good? I think when you're that level, yeah, but for everyone else, I think singles is the way to go. And then once they have like 6 to 8 singles ready, then put it on an album,
Mm-hmm.
But I think right now the focus is not on an album, but singles.
Well, just to add to that, I mean, we have not 6 to 8, we have about 50 singles that are all like Hold Up.
Yep.
Hold Up, It's Amazing, Holiday, I Feel, You Keep Me Happy, Party Over Here. We just have a ton. And what we're doing is, instead of dropping them all, the same way that you think about social media, you think about trying to market these days, if you give everyone everything, there's a good chance that they're not going to get it. And you have to be customer obsessed and just give them what they're looking for. Listen to the data, see what they like, and bring them the best stuff all the time instead of just dropping one album and saying, good luck, hope you hear it.
We touched on the fan stereo side of the conversation earlier this hour. It's something that I'm very excited about. You guys having an ongoing open door channeling effect with the fan stereos. Shout out to Jay and Walter out there in New York City who run that national monster. So where are we at currently with fan stereo? How did that deal come into play for you guys?
We are doing great with Fan Stereo. We're officially sponsored. As you saw at the show, we gave away a pair of headphones for the little contest that we were doing. Mm-hmm. We have 2 different headphones, the Studio 43s. Basically, we did that for the models because they look really great on guys and girls. They're light. They're Bluetooth headphones, but we are working on our own DJ hip-hop style of headphones for DJs to do hip-hop, EDM, and those are coming out soon. Just talked to Jay today. He's really excited about the show we did, and he wants to move forward on the overall branding. Good.
And I'm looking forward to the day that I can actually see the High Children's premium line of your own headphones. Maybe one side is red, one side is black, one side is silver, one side is black. Just getting really funky with the colors and really.
Well, you see their logo. One side will be your logo, one side will be his logo. Yeah. They've got a very unique logo.
Yeah.
Just like De La Soul used to have a logo, or when Naughty by Nature put out OPP. I remember doing the street team for that, and they just passed out stickers that just said OPP, OPP. And when you saw that, the first thing that came to your head was Naughty by Nature. So you don't even have to put their name on it, and you just show their logos. You know it's the High Children.
Yes. Guys, are you down with OPP?
Yeah, I'm done with other people's. Nothing. Never mind. Oh, see, you got a dirty mind. I was going to say pens.
Nastiness from all the artists that you've had the opportunity to work with and all the relationships that you've created from day one till day now. If you had to just choose one experience, one conversation that you'll never forget that either opened the door for someone else or just, gained national appreciation and respect and attention, what would that be?
That's really easy. It's with Sir Mix-a-Lot. I used to play his new music off a cassette tape on my shows on Sunday night. And I remember the program director was threatening me, saying, why you keep playing that guy? He's not going to do anything. He's not going to make it. And I said, no, please, just trust me. Let me keep playing his stuff. And he kept getting more requests than a Michael Jackson or a Madonna record on K-Fox. And that's something I just really remember why I almost lost my job playing Sir Mix-a-Lot's music.
What?
And, because back then, rap was just starting out, so it wasn't very common to hear hip-hop on radio. So you would only hear it on my show on Sunday nights. Wow. And then I started playing a little bit of hip-hop on weeknights. He would let me play 1 to 2 hip-hop records an hour. And but for some reason, I remember K-Fox didn't want me to play Mix-a-Lot and MC Hammer. And I said, man, I guarantee you these are going to blow up. And at that time, MC Hammer only had a song called The Thrill Is Gone. It was a B.B. King tune. And but I eventually continued playing it, and you can see how both those artists really blew up,
Yeah.
So those are the two. Those are the one thing I really remember being told I couldn't play, and I fought hard because I knew I was right. I just knew I was right,
And would you like to hear my quick 20-second experience so far up to date? No? Okay, I won't share it.
No, I do. I'm just joking.
A market president, I won't mention anybody's names, years ago telling me that I would never be able to pull off a partnership with the Seattle Seahawks and ever get it going to the proper footsteps that it ultimately ended up being. 8 years strong, a top-notch Seahawks player on the squad coming in and taking over the former radio station, 16 weeks, going into the playoffs, giving away personal tickets, and creating new sales revenue in the 6 figures, high in the 6 figures for the radio station. So whenever I do talk to that person, I always bring it up to him, and he says, "You know what? Never should have doubted you, Dirty Harry." Yeah, no one should ever doubt me. All right. With that being said, getting back to Kelly here from the Oi brand, where give me the proper flight plan on where people can get online and see the brand and get familiar with it and support it, because that's what I want.
Yes, our website is oibrand.com, and then we also have all our social media sites hooked up, so you can shop directly on our Facebook and our Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest.
And I want to thank you for giving me the nice gift. I appreciate it. The only reason I didn't wear it today was I was looking out my bedroom window this morning, and it was overcast. And I said, you know what? I don't know if it's going to be a T-shirt day, but you better believe the next nice day that we have out here in the Northwest, I will be wearing it with pride and be posting it up on social networking so everybody can see and experience to the fullest the Oi brand.
How do you spell
Like
Oi?
that. OI. It stands for Official You. We're all about making our consumers, our buyers better. We're with you guys. We're all about positive growth.
Well,
and
check
getting
this
things
out.
going.
In the Philippines, HOY, Oi, means, hey, Oi. So if you sold your stuff in the Philippines, well, you're going to make millions.
A lot of money.
The Oi brand. Oi.
See, I love that when new business tractions are being developed. You never know.
Seriously.
See, there you go. I mean, seriously. I mean, I'm all about it.
See,
So.
watch.
Yeah,
Oi.
yeah. Actually,
See, she looked.
on our song, Get That Money. We actually have a part where we
yeah,
go,
I do.
"Oi!" We'll cut that part for you guys, and maybe you can put the logo on that. We'll do something.
That would be cool.
I want to say I love your guys' logo, and Trash by Tony and I wanted to thank you so much for coming out. You guys did an amazing job.
Yes.
I love your gear, and
Thank
I
you.
definitely want to talk to you soon about doing some collaboration stuff because your stuff is amazing.
That would be great. I appreciate it. Thank you.
And getting the Oi brand, these guys have got their own, of course, clothing brand. The High Children, they've got men's and women's. They've got T-shirts, hoodies, hats. They've got everything that you need to come out and support the High Children at their wonderful merch setups. If they come out to Sunday's great event that goes to a great cause, I'm sure there'll be a nice merch table set up there. So, I mean, I don't know if you can still buy tickets or not. Peter Murata, shout out to Peter Murata, one of the key members of the crew here. Texted me the other night, said that they added a couple additional seats. It's like a 6-course dinner for $25. I mean, what can you get for what good dinner can you get these days for $25 bucks? 6-course meal. So, I mean,
that's actually not for 25. That's for friends and family that are in it.
oh, well, still, well, whatever it is, 50 bucks is still a good 50, 100, 150, whatever it is. I know whatever it is, it's still a great cause, and you need to come out and support. And just that alone right there should be enough to be able to come out and support the High Children doing what they do the best at that amazing appearance coming up this Sunday. Kelly, thank you. Please don't go anywhere. Erica will, when she gets back in here, I think she's handling the next round of guests outside in the green room. Jamal, if you don't mind coming back here to the mic, I want to finish off the interview here, ask a few more questions. In the meantime, Jason, I know you're dying to hit your keyboard. What do you want to hit some more? What do you want to hit over there?
Me and Jamal want to do a song for you.
Let's do it. So let's do it. Let's do a song here live on the air since.
Give it a mic check. How's
Oi.
that over there?
Check. 1, 2. Oi!
Oi.
Yeah.
Oi.
Hold up.
Here's another version of Hold Up for y'all.
Hold up.
It's going to be a mix of Hold Up, Get That Money, and then Hip Hop 2.0. Shout out to my boy, Danny.
This is not pre-recorded. All the way live. AL 1, 2, 3, 4. Every rhyme they write, we write too. See, we already done what they trying to do. So every chick you trying to plug, we already do. And everything that you learn, and we already knew. Like Copernicus when I'm burning this hypotheses and philosophies that goes beyond Socrates. Pat's what you trying to prove. You could keep standing still, homie. We make moves. We make it more in an hour for just one beat than you make in a week. Slinging crack in the street. We educated, but still X-rated. Turning invisible because we so faded. Yo, we UFC, they typo. Straight shining in the dark eye glow. I'm the reason she said goodbye, bro. But this ain't no bakery, so she won't be getting my dough. I'm so fly though. Was up talking to Snow White when they said hi ho? I don't know. You about to see. It's the T to the H to the mother ever see. Singing 1, 2, 3. The crew is called THC. And if you wanna go to the tip top, join the movement. It's Hip Hop 2.0. 1, 2, 3. The crew is called THC. And if you wanna go to the tip top, join the movement. It's Hip Hop 2.0. And other ladies in the place, why-oh? Right here on 110, why-oh? A dirty Harry in the place, why-oh? Nasty, let's get it crackin', why-oh? Come on. Get the money, yo. Get the money, yo.
Gotta get that money, money. Gotta get that money, money.
Yes.
Gotta get that money,
My man
money.
Binary,
Gotta get that money,
live
money.
on the drum machine.
Gotta get that money, money.
MPC,
Gotta get that money,
get it
money.
poppin', man.
This is the Keisha spot right here, boy.
Get that money.
Come on. Hey, yo, do that, that. Hot shooting on the track, kicking strictly boom bap. They say something with the label, get paid for your raps. I tell them F that, I've been there, I've done that. I roll the dice every day, pay the price every day. You gotta spend money to make money, that's what they say. Well, we spend money really good. We must be really hood, because we keeps it underground and it's understood.
You know, get that money, money. Get that money, money.
Yeah. Say right to come is that's unknown. The lunatic, the bottom child, we keep talking. Said right to come is that's unknown. The dirty area in the place, we keep talking. And that's up in the place, we keep talking. Takisha up in the place, we keep talking. It be the eye children, we keep talking. The mystery come down one time, my man. Come on.
Girl, you're coming up on me and you know you're sexy, love. I don't mean want to rub your body. So give me the love, give me the love, give me the love and I deserve. Me want that banana. Hold me like the way you walk and talk and move a groove. You're coming to soup, man, make me feel irate. So give me the love, give me the love and I deserve. And let it swing. Hey, chicks in my nebula. So many girls I'll be stepping to, get into. Hit it, I'll be wetting ya, then forgetting ya. Baby, please don't cry. It ain't you, I'm forgetting everything when I'm high. Which is every day, every week, every second of every minute of every hour with every single freak. If this was church, you would probably say amen. Rhymes harder than a room full of naked slay man. Yo, I ain't a record, don't try to scratch me. Sample my DNA, you still couldn't match me. Your girl was a camera, she probably flashed me. Cause you took her out to dinner, but you let me hit the what free. I get my dough up, challenge rappers to battle me, but they never show up. Kinda like my own mobile phone, watch me blow up. I get toe up from the flow up and then I throw up. Yo, try all you want, but you can't describe these flows. It's like having no money trying to buy these hoes. It's like smoking oregano and saying you high. Just because you on a plane, that don't mean that you fly.
Said
bye,
right
bye,
to come is that's unknown. The lunatic, the bottom shall we keep talking. Said right to come is that's unknown. The mystery, the bottom shall we keep talking. Go Mr. 1, 2, 3. The group is called THC. And if you wanna go to the tip top, join the movement, it's hip hop 2.0. 1, 2, 3. The crew is called THC. And if you wanna go to the tip top, join the movement, it's hip hop 2.0.
You know them people gonna get wild. All them ladies that get wild. All the fellas them get wild. In that 206, let's go.
Get that money, come on.
Get that money, money. Get
Listen,
that
from Seattle right here.
money, money.
Hot cheddar, maybe.
All the way live.
Man, I am so unbelievably impressed. I mean, how many people can just spit fire like that on the cuff, on the verge, on the edge, live on the radio, feel confident, and to be able to spit game like that? Man, it's my guys. It's Nasty Ness's crew. It's my crew. It's the Hyde children out here in full rotation on C89.5. Ness's friend, my friend John McDaniel, shout out to you, man.
Yeah,
Thanks for playing that record 27 times.
Oh, word.
Let's get that thing 50 spins a week, and I was really impressed, man. And you guys know how high my jump bar is. I wouldn't be saying what I'm saying right now if I didn't really feel it, and that was on point.
You know who you remind me of? Jerry Heller, rest in peace, good friend of mine. He used to manage the world-class wrecking crew in Eazy-E. He was a Jewish guy, but he was smart. And you remind me like you're the next Jerry Heller.
Thank you, Ness.
No, seriously, you do. And I want to recognize, we have such a tight team. I want to recognize members of the Hyde children include DJ Third Degree and Danny Dorman, Easy D. Those two aren't here, and Peter Murata. So all of us make one big team. And Robbie Rob out of Minneapolis. Yeah, he's the newest addition.
Keisha Stewart.
Yeah, he works out of Prince's studio.
Yes, he does out there in Minneapolis.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
We got a great crew, and like I said, you know, I feel like we all are players on the court. We're all wearing individual jerseys with our names on the back. We all represent different positions here, but we all know what the winning key success ratio is. We all know where we need to be, and that's going, and I see it and I feel it. Believe me, I feel it and I see it. And I think about this at 4 o'clock in the morning when I wake up randomly, thinking about you guys on a business level, wanting you guys to have that gold key to open up that castle and just shut the competition down. I mean, that's how competitive I am. I literally want to shut the competition down. I like the competition, but I want the competition to really be able to see what the Hyde children have at stake now for the near future and for the next upcoming years, because it's definitely going to be history in the making. I can guarantee you that. So,
hey, yo, speaking of, it hasn't been said, I want to just say this before I forget. Dirty Harry, thank you so much for having us on, letting us take advantage of your platform. And yo, you killed it last night. You had the punchlines. You was getting the crowd hype. You made everybody's hands get in the air. Dude, you've been killing it. We really appreciate you, man. We're glad to have you part of the team. So that's it. That's all.
Well, I appreciate that, Jamal. I wouldn't have it any other way. And, you know, yesterday was like a 16-hour day for me. But you know what? I could have gone 48 hours because that's the energy that you guys provide for me when you guys embrace the stage and do what you guys do. My show producer is telling me, yes, it is 2 o'clock. So with it being a busy show today, like every day, I have to get to the next focus. Which is my guy Scott. We're going from music now to some high-level cannabis business. Cannabis is, you know, we definitely can't hide behind the curtain when we're talking about a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Hit that chronic.
And shouting out, Erica, can we bring Scott in just real quick? Just Scott for 1 second. If Scott can come in, I'll bring the other guys here in a second. But Scott, yeah, Scott, come on in. Normally I wouldn't do this, but Scott, this is Jason and Jamal from the High Children. I put you on the phone with him the other day. These are the guys that are going to be performing on. These are the guys that are going to be performing on your stage at Hempfest in front of hundreds of thousands.
On the 5 o'clock slot for Saturday, so that's pretty much one of the best slots you can get.
Yeah, boy. Thank you.
Thank you. So thank you, Nasty Ness. Happy birthday to you, brother.
Happy birthday.
You guys are more than welcome to hang out in the green room. If you have to take off, no problem.
Oh, we gotta leave.
I'll see you. You can hang out.
Okay. Bye, Felicia.
You can hang out if you want, and you know, or you can stay on with me. It's totally.
Because when he walked in, oh man, I'm feeling like I got the munchies all of a sudden. I can smell him, so I'm gonna go out there.
But Ness,
Right.
before you leave,
Thanks,
we'll do a few more. We'll do a few more things together here at
for
Studio
sure.
110.
Do your thing. I'm gonna go in the green room.
No problem. Yeah, hang out with us as long.
Why do you call it the green room? Is there like
That's what the top-notch stations do around the country. That's what we do. And I want to thank the Oi brand as well. Let's bring in our next in-studio guest here to stay in proper line, so we're not going over 3 o'clock today because we have a lot on the plate today to accomplish. Let's get the next group of people here. We're live on the air, Studio 110.live. Thank you very much. Thanks very much for the wonderful performance, the great interview. I appreciate it. Thanks to the one and only, the legendary Nasty Ness, who surprised me, who flew up here from Los Angeles to grace Studio 110 with the proper pedestal that it needs to be on, the proper platform. And now we're going to be transitioning into my boy Scott and his crew here talking about some serious cannabis-related business. Thank you to the High Children again, Jason and Jamal. You can check those guys out on my show. And, of course, my boy John over there at C89.5 in full rotation. All right, let's get to the seats. Let's get the headphones on. And, Scott, you tell me who needs to be on right now. And, Scott, I'd like to get you on with me just to kind of get this thing kicked off, talk about our relationship, and then we will get to business accordingly here. So, Scott, first off, Scott, welcome back to the show. Thank you for all the hard work that you've been doing behind the scenes here to put this grid into motion. This is a big, new rewarding opportunity for everybody at Studio 110 to have you and all the people that you'll be bringing in, and the partnerships that we're going to be developing with other national radio shows, where we're all here to help each other out. We all know each other. We're all here to help each other out, and that's the gratitude that I like to be able to share with my listening audience, whether they can watch me. We have cameras in here. They can watch. They can see us. So I appreciate that, and happy Friday to you, man.
Happy Friday, man. Yeah, this is an awesome opportunity for us as well. To
be a little closer to the mic, thanks.
All right, it's an awesome opportunity for us as well to be able to bring the cannabis community and the artist community together to talk about what's going on in Washington, because we really do set the foundation for the country, and a lot of people are looking at us, and there's not a lot of platform to talk about it.
Yep. And so what do we got on deck here today? We got I see some great people here in the studio. Some I remember I'm terrible with names. I'm sorry. I met this guy earlier this week when you guys came down, and Mr. Snog here. But
yes.
These guys I haven't met. So we have. Unless we need to be sharing mics here, I've got 4 guest mics here. So if you guys want to properly introduce yourself, and Scott, if you can jump in and give them the proper introduction.
Well, first off, we have 2 guests today. We have Gold Services, which is a 502 business processor, and we have some employees from those. First off is Lenny, the business manager.
Virtual high five, everybody.
There you go. I'm not usually a huge fan of people talking off mic, so if you can just come a little closer to the mic, I'd appreciate it for everybody here.
Virtual high five out there.
Thank you.
And then we have DJ, which is one of our salespeople that's knocking down doors every single day.
I like your watch, man. Is that a Nixon?
Movado, my friend.
Movado, I like it. I like that watch. Yep. And of course, we got my buddy here, Mr. Snog. And is that a proper way to give you the proper introduction? I'm just going off the hat. So
yeah, man, you can call me Snog. You can call me King Snog, but I like Snog.
We'll call you King. We'll just call you King. So call you King.
That works for me.
We have Swisher Sleep. Now, Swisher Sleep is one of the high-rising artists in the hip-hop world for Seattle. He was just debuted as one of the 3 collabs on Tech Nine's new album, Planet, that just came out, that just hit #1.
Nice.
God bless.
Yeah, so he is a very amazing, articulate rapper that can rap fast, can rap slow.
Great.
And he really gave Tech Nine a run for his money there.
Thank you.
Good. And every time Tech Nine, like as you know, comes to the Northwest, it's always a guaranteed sellout. He could do a show here every week and he would sell out, and that really shows the proper fan base connection that he has, especially out here in the Northwest. He's told me many times that I've asked him. I said, "What give me your top 3 favorite places to perform," and Seattle is always up there at the top of the list. So
yeah, he's dope.
That should definitely make you happy that you had the opportunity, because I mean, believe me, I know he's a competitive guy and he doesn't just put anybody on his album. So kudos to you, man.
The album he had right before this Planet album was nothing but a collabs album. So he said the next album I come out with, I'm only putting the fire on there, and he was one of the 3 people he chose, which is awesome.
Nice. So before we get to the last guest, I want to give I want to let everybody know that we got some really cool, fun giveaways that we're going to be doing on my show this afternoon. We're going to be tying in my new favorite brand, the Oi brand, and obviously the Comedy Jam tickets. We got this really fun Comedy Jam coming to the Show Center down there in Kent. It's going to be happening June 30th. The Laugh Your Ass Off with Icons. The comedy tickets are, of course, on sale right now. You can go to their box office. You can hit up their website. You can call them. And, man, don't miss out on this opportunity. And tickets are definitely selling well. It was really fun putting this thing together with a couple of my guys here at Studio 110.Live's headquarters. We got Bill Bellamy coming, D. Ray Davis, Dion Cole, Ada Rodriguez, Marlon Wayans, Melody Camacho. So we're not just filling up the stage with one comedian. We're giving you damn near 6, if not more. So that's the business that we're in here at Studio 110 to provide we all have, look, I mean, a lot of us have stressful lives, whether it's relationships or not being able to make ends meet, or we hate our bosses, or we just have personal, life situations going on. And I said, you know what would be better than to bring a fun comedy jam to put into proper accordance and illustration as the launch of my new show with Dirty Harry back on the air out here in the Northwest. So I'm super excited to be teaming up with my guys here at Studio 110.Live. So Eric, my show producer, has told me that we'll have a couple contestants calling in, and we will hear some comedy, and we will tie the comedy into giving them some little bit of Oi brand product. Who doesn't want to win free clothes? I mean, come on, the $30 T-shirt out there. It's a good quality T-shirt with great artwork, with great illustration, supporting my crew, the Oi brand, of course, with the icons of a comedy, Laugh Your Ass Off. So I'm super excited about that. I think the first one we're going to get for that will be actually in about 3 minutes if we're on proper accordance, and I'll need my producer to let me know where we're at with that. All right. With that being said, Scott, what's our main topic of conversation today? I know you've been working hard behind the scenes. You've been sending me some flight plans in terms of what we're going to be talking about. You'll be my co-host. So you obviously you know these guys a lot better than I do, but as a radio host, it's my job to know them as well as you do. So you tell me what are some priorities that we need to obviously discuss today. And before you answer that, I want to thank you for allowing my group, who was just on the air with me here in my studio, the Hyde Children. You gave them the opportunity, and I appreciate that, to be able to perform at HempFest coming up in a few months here in Seattle. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely. First off, I wanted to introduce our last guest, is Yoshi Gish.
Yes.
Yoshi Gish is a traveling musician. He is a singer-songwriter, medley maker. He is a online personality, and he travels around with us a lot. He plays at a lot of different dispensaries and sets up and plays a lot of our events and our in-stores and stuff like that. So him, Snog, and I will be the good stuff, coming here every Friday to 2 or 3 with you and bringing some guests to talk to.
Great. And I'm excited to kind of learn more about all you guys. You guys definitely, I'm guessing, are in the cannabis scene somehow, some way, in terms of the level that you guys are at. Until we get our first, I don't know if my show producer is my show producer even in the studio right now? I don't think she is. But until she comes in, what's currently on the desk right now at Scott's executive office in terms of all the projects that you're currently working on right now?
Well, the one thing that really just I swung the hammer and I hit some gold, and that was with our company, High Tunes.
Okay.
That's you buy a joint, you get a song, music distribution through legal cannabis.
Great.
And both Yoshi Gish and Swisher Sleep here both have their own joint on the 502 market that distributes their music with a really good weed.
Great.
So that's one thing that we're doing is we're giving artist branded product and putting it out there. Then my mission statement for High Tunes has always been music used to sell sheet music, then records and record players, tapes and tape players, CDs and CD players, and then MP3 players. Now there's no longer anything for it to sell. So we're giving it products to sell.
Wonderful.
We don't stop with just marijuana. We have CBD products and we have just regular products that we're selling, and we're starting to push out nationwide in order to give artists a new way to distribute.
1 second there, please. I'm told, is this Nolan on the phone with me?
What's up?
I've got our first contestant on the line here, Nolan. You're our first. Hopefully, I can't say if you're going to be the winner or not, but you're our first contestant calling in right now, live on the air at Studio 110.live. I got a whole bunch of wonderful audience members here in the studio, the Oi brand, Scott, and all these wonderful people here in the studio. So I was told that you've been working quite hard as one of our favorite listeners out there, and our contestant for this particular moment, Nolan, to give me a 15 or 20 second quick piece of comedy, and we can all hear you, so no pressure. And then I will consult with my host of the day here, Scott, and we will see who deserves to ultimately win these tickets. So go ahead, the floor is yours.
All right, so there's these 4 guys, and they go to their college reunion. And one of the guys is kind of embarrassed because his son's gay and he just came out of the closet. And so he wanted to avoid the conversation where they were talking about what their boys are doing. So he went and got a beer. And while he was gone, the other guys were like, yeah, my guy's doing so good. He just bought his significant other a boat. The next guy's like, oh, my son's doing great. He just bought his significant other a house. The next guy's like, man, mine's even better. He just bought his a brand new Lamborghini. And the next guy walks up, still embarrassed. He's like, well, what's your son doing these days? He goes, well, he's gay and he's working at this strip club, but he's got 3 new boyfriends. And his boyfriends all got him a brand new boat, house, and a car. It's amazing, actually. Is that funny?
Not. I mean, on a 1 to 10, I I want to go to you first.
Nice try.
Yeah, on a 1 to 10.
That's about as PG as I can be. Hey, I'll try to be PG for yourself. Mind you.
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Nolan.
I definitely appreciate the effort, but you really got to stick it with that punchline, and you didn't stick it on that punchline with me, buddy.
Well, I'm not there. I can't see you. You know what I mean? I've never called in.
He's on the phone. So on a 1 to 10, what would you give him? What would you give him?
On a 1 to 10, I'm rating it like a 6.
Okay, all right. I was,
That's generous.
I got another one.
Generous.
What if I try
I can see what the point was. You just didn't hit it.
I got one more. If I can nail a punchline, would that be better?
If you can make it quick, I will allow you to do one more, Nolan.
All right. So this guy, he goes in to get his Social Security check, and he's old, and the lady's like, let me see your ID, and he goes, oh shit, I forgot it. And she goes, well, how am I supposed to know that you're old enough to get your Social Security? And she goes, well, let me see your chest hair. If it's gray, I'll give it to you. So he shows her. It's gray. He goes back home, and his wife's like, honey, you forgot your wallet. How the hell are you going to get your Social Security check? He goes, well, I showed the lady my chest hair, and it was gray at the place. And she said, all right, you must be old enough. She goes, shit, you should have pulled down your pants. She would have given you disability.
That was better.
That was a little better.
That was better.
That was better. I mean,
I get it.
The first one, Nolan, on a 1 to 10.
Hey, I'll try to be PG.
10 being Kevin Hart should be jealous. 1 being that he never should have come on there in the first place. I'd give it a 5. The second one, maybe a 6. Okay. So I will put that on my notepad here that you get a 5.
For me being PG, that's like a 9 for me. Okay.
Yes. So Nolan, I want to thank you.
Try to be respectful here.
Yeah, no problem. I have a busy show this afternoon. Thank you for being our first contestant to win these Comedy Jam tickets and a nice package of assortment from the Oi brand. I want to get my next caller on here. Hello, Studio 110. Do I have Gary Frankie on with me right now?
It is indeed, yes.
Gary Franke, welcome to the show this afternoon, Studio 110.live. Of course, my co-host of the day, Scott here.
What up?
And our wonderful, large in-studio audience.
What's up?
And I'm sure you know the flight plan. You know the drill to be able to give me something that'll actually put tears in my eyes. I want to hear something. It's a Friday. It's going to be a wonderful weekend. So hopefully you'll be the winner, Gary. Let me know, spit me some comedy here, and Scott and I will be the judge, and we'll see if you win this wonderful care package consisting of comedy jam tickets and a little swag to be able to wear to the comedy jam.
It sounds exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. So, you know what? The problem about political jokes is they actually get elected to office. So
that was it?
that's it. They get elected. I love it. It's short and sweet.
It's a tough crowd here, man. You got to come harder than that.
There's a bunch of stoners in here, man. We've heard a lot of comedy.
The best analogy, Scott, that I can give you for that joke that I just heard is like, you're not expecting the Blue Angels to fly over when they do, and you're just like mowing the lawn, and like an F-16 or an F-18 just flies over your house, and it knocks you to the ground from the engines, the power that those engines pull out on those jet airplanes. So if you can give me, Gary, I liked what you did, Gary, but if you can give me one more, the version again before I get to Matthew, our next contestant here on the show.
Sure, I will give more time. So the problem with political jokes is it elected to office.
There you go. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for calling in. All right, our next contestant of the hour. Like how I just switched through. I mean, it's just like if I'm not feeling it, like I'm gone. It's like a bad date. I'm gone. Like you won't even see me.
Last two X's.
Yes. Do I have Matthew here on the line?
Yes, you do.
All right, Matthew. Welcome to the big show this afternoon. Studio 110.live. Got Matthew here. Where are you calling from, Matthew?
I'm calling from Ballard.
You're calling from Ballard. Okay, Ballard, a wonderful area, an iconic tourist destination called the Ballard Locks there. I'm told that you're one of the contestants here to be able to give myself and my in-studio audience that consists of about 96 people right now a joke to see if you can win comedy jam tickets and a nice little swag package to be able to wear in proper accordance to the comedy jam. So the floor is yours, Matthew.
All right. So, okay. What does Donald Trump and porn star have in common?
All right, what does Donald Trump and a porn star have in common? Okay, give it to me.
A baby?
All right. They each blow at their jobs.
They each what?
Blow at their jobs.
They each blow at their jobs.
Not bad. Not bad. So what does Donald Trump and a porn star have in common? They both what? Blow at their jobs?
Yes.
Okay. All right. You might be leading the pack with that one, Matthew.
Man, didn't Donald Trump just get in trouble for Stormy Daniels?
He did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. All right. Well, Matthew, I appreciate you calling in. So far, we've had Nolan on, we've had Gary Franke on, we've had Matthew on, and I believe Joe Anderson should be calling me at 2:30. So we got a few more minutes here before Joe calls, and then I will instruct Erica on who the winner will be, and then she will follow up with the winner of choice, and you guys will be good to go. Matthew, I appreciate you calling in.
Well, thank you for having me, Dirty Harry.
Thank you, Matt. Have a wonderful rest of your Friday afternoon and weekend.
So far, Matt's got my vote.
You do.
Yep, yeah. Matt, I think Matt, the second guy, if you ask me, and I do not have ADD, but if you asked me to repeat his joke, I couldn't even be able to. I can't even remember it. I honestly can't even remember it.
Yeah, he didn't come through the second time with that. I thought he was going to go a little harder, but it almost was like a little more relaxed than the first delivery.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad joke. All right, so we got a busy show this afternoon. If you're just tuning in, Studio 110.live. Big shout out to Nasty Nest, the High Children. It's been a big week. I want to shout out. I forgot if he was on yesterday or the day before. Another big guest, Tony Shellman, a huge fashion executive out of the East Coast. Next time Oi Brand is in, maybe I'll have an opportunity to get Tony on the line and they can speak to Tony Shellman. He's worked with a lot of artists. Right now, one of his priorities is working with T.I. to get T.I.'s brand to the proper level that it needs to be. What do we got here, Erica? I want to get back to Scott here, but I'm told that all right. So what do we got here? We got some sort of tour. and it's happening at the Showbox. Are we giving away tickets for this as well? All right, wonderful. So just one more surprise that we unveil here at Studio 110.live. All right, so we will add that into the OI swag bag, the Laugh Your Ass Off Comedy Jam tickets, and now concert tickets. What's going to be next? A freaking Bentley? So good. I mean, you just never know what to expect here on this show. So I'm very excited that there's one more thing here to talk about today. Not like there's already enough. All right. So Scott, let's get back to the cannabis conversation. Since I have a few minutes, I'm told that this next guy Joe is calling in at 2:30. So I definitely have time. All right. Let's get back into the cannabis business. What are some up and coming exciting new avenues and streams, whether it's at retail or on the growing operation side or just on the business day-to-day side of the cannabis scene that you're excited about, that people may not, be able to have a lot of traction in place right now that they might not know about? I'm all about, unveiling new fun announcements on this show. So if there is anything that we could talk about, I'd like to talk about it now.
Well, there's a lot of cool things happening in specific with High Tunes, and I brought in this team here because they're the teams that make High Tunes happen. Okay. So I licensed High Tunes out to Gold Services, which Lenny here is the manager of. Okay. And he has DJ, and then our other sales rep, Ian here, he has them hitting the streets and pushing the High Tunes joints out everywhere. You're holding one from, I believe, Head PE?
Yes, I am.
Yeah, that's Head PE we released there. We have 46 different artists we're pushing around right now with High Tunes. Gold Services brings them all out to all the 502 stores. Great. And I wanted to bring Swisher Sleep on to specifically talk about what's that like on the artist point of view to have your cone in all these stores?
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Man, it's great. I love it. I'm from Seattle. I grew up in the Central District area. Mm-hmm. And I love being able to go to the stores around here and pop up, and people send me pictures all the time and stuff that say, here, we're supporting you. We got your joint in there. And of course, I'm heavy on the medication myself. Mm-hmm. And when you mix music with it, it's always been a thing. Music and marijuana has always been a thing. So when you put it on the market, it's great. And, I'm just grateful. I'm grateful for all this, man.
And you mentioned a few minutes ago that you've had the opportunity to work with Tech Nine and several other artists. What's some cool levels of the opportunities that you've been able to present yourself, whether it's, on stage with them together or in the studio or, wherever you guys have been able to work together in the past that you can discuss? Because Tech Nine has been someone that's always, he's always reinventing himself. He's always, re-imaging himself as an artist. And that's why he just continues to come out here and sell these shows out.
Man, it's a blessing to be able to, link up with somebody like Tech Nine in a business way and in a music way, because he's to be admired for both. Mm-hmm. And also a real down-to-earth guy. Mm-hmm. And so when I met him, he wasn't Hollywood. He wasn't, he wasn't I didn't feel out of place talking to him. He made me feel like I was right at home. And he just gave me a listen. I told him and looked him straight in his eyes and said, man, I think I got something here that you could listen to. And he said, yeah, man, go ahead on. And when it was over with, he actually said, yeah, come on. Next time I come to Seattle, I'm gonna put you on the show. So for the past few times he's been coming, I've been getting on all the shows and stuff. And when I leave the radio station, I'm gonna go talk to him down there because they got a show down there tonight. So. And we just gonna parlay, man. It's my birthday at midnight, so I'm feeling good.
Nice. Where are you celebrating your birthday at?
Yeah. Right here. I'm gonna be down here. I'm gonna be at the Showbox.
Oh, okay, cool. So you're gonna be at the what's going on at the Showbox tonight?
Tech Nine is on the Planet Tour. The album is.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't actually know he was even in town tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Came and slid in here.
There you go. Almost like a little surprise. Normally, I know when he's here, but I had no idea that he was here tonight.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing it's sold out.
It is.
It's sold out.
They're coming back on Sunday too again to get some more sold out money.
There you go. So if I want to, if I randomly wanted to show up, which I won't be able to, but I would know that I could give you a call and I'd be able to get in there and witness some great magic happening at Showbox Center.
I wish I had that much pull. I'm not sure. I would ask.
I got you. I got you. I got you.
No, I could reach out to Chad, who pretty much owns the Showbox, and he always takes good care of me. I was just having fun with you. I don't want to put you on the spot. I know people already get nervous enough when they come in here. There's cameras and lights and microphones, and the last thing I want to make anybody do is pass out live on the air. So I never want to put anybody in that position, especially on a Friday going into a sold out show tonight. So that's the last thing that we need. All right, I'm all about music. I'm all about local music. I've had several artists on the air with me. I've had Huey P in here. I just had the High Children. had Chevy, Marquis. Those are just the top of minds right now. I mean, I've had a lot of others, but what do you feel from you in the proper vantage point that you're currently in, with you being someone that's respected, that's known out here, in the local Northwest scene? What do you feel like we're lacking out here in the Northwest that can be able to ultimately help you and other artists achieve more greatness? Besides, of course, my new show here and allowing you and other artists to come in here and be recognized. But that's the obvious. But besides that, what are some other things that you want to see happen out here to put Seattle on the proper pedestal?
My honest opinion is I just feel like it needs a little more time. I just feel like more time needs to go past in the creation of the earth before we get our shine over here, because we do business a little different. And, that's neither here nor there, because every place does business a little bit different. They do things a little bit different. And I feel like it's just now starting to really catch. Mm-hmm. And that's what has to happen. When you're building a fire, it got to catch before it gets bigger. And people are just now starting to now see it. And the avenues that we've been had the whole time, now all of a sudden they're going to be working. Yeah. And there's going to be people that run to these sites, and there's going to be people that flip to these pages that we were on the whole time. Yeah. But now they're hot because everyone else says it's hot. So I just feel like a little more time. That's it. We're pretty much good, in my opinion.
Who are some artists that you're respecting, that you're liking, that you're, want the opportunity, whether it's local or national attention out there, that you'd like that opportunity to do some collaborating with?
Man, I like my guy Jesse James. I've been doing some collaborations with him.
He's a great guy.
Lately, I've been. And
tell him I said what up. I want to get him on here actually as well. Yeah.
I'll call him when I get up out of here. Tell him that.
Yeah, Jesse, and cool. That's I wouldn't have guessed that. But that's what live radio and talk shows are about. I would have guessed you would have said some other names, but big shout out to Jesse, and Jesse continues to open up that new pathway out here and just recreate that sound and that stage presence, and he's doing it. So he's definitely doing it. What are some things that, in addition to artists being able to get the proper respect and recognition, whether it's airplay or shows and venues opening up their doors a little bit more to support you guys? What are your feelings and thoughts on that?
Say that one more time.
In terms of venues here locally, not so much radio, but more like music venues, opening up their doors to put into place the proper channeling effects for you and other artists to be able to get out there and not charge you guys an arm and a leg to be able to do some proper performances.
I do. I feel like that it needs to be a bunch of conversations going on. In my opinion, though, I feel like a lot of these venues, they do have outlets. They got their own rules because they have their own business, and that's fair. But I feel like some artists don't work as hard as they say they're working, or believe that they are working, and feel entitlement that they feel like they deserve certain things. And I've been a victim of that myself. I victimized my own self and my own path to greatness. But you just got to open your eyes up. You got to do some work, and you got to hustle hard. There's a bunch of outlets out here. Yeah. People just got to use them.
With that, I'll go ahead and say we had the High Tunes cones for both Swisher Sleep and Cocaine come out, and
shout out to Cocaine, man, one of Snoop Dogg's legendary sidekicks. Always also reinventing himself, and man, I love Cocaine. He works with my guy Battle Cat all the time. I mean, the legend that Battle Cat is, a good friend of mine. So.
Yeah, he actually came out and went to a tour of meet and greets at all the Have-A-Hearts with Swisher to release all their cones, and they both showed up and they both did their time inside the store, met everybody who came in, shook all their hands, kissed all the babies.
Good.
Swish sold out too. By the way, at that Have a Heart I went to.
Yeah, he sold out to 3 different locations that we've seen so far.
I'm glad you said I wasn't going to say that, but thank
you. So you just brought up an interesting point. If you had to take one guess, you guys can both answer this. If you had to take one guess, and I'll allow you guys to take one guess each, the one national artist that after this person's show, depending on how long it takes, will sign every single autograph and take as many pictures as that person needs to take so no one feels left out. Who would be your guess?
Man,
national artist.
It wouldn't be in the hip hop world. I don't know. I mean, I've seen a lot of artists that really give it their all.
So I'll give you some time to think. Who you going to take a guess there?
I'm just going. I'm gonna swing the bat at E40. I feel like he's really, really, really down to earth and real humble.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
I could see him doing that. That's my guess.
Yep.
40 water.
He definitely does do that. The person that I learned from that I had the opportunity to meet a few times. And shout out to her brother right now that's actually watching is Mariah Carey. Mariah Carey is one that she just doesn't leave anybody open-handed. She makes sure that she makes everybody feel with the proper accordance. Everybody feels special, and she signs all the autographs and pictures that she needs to take. So Mariah Carey, and shout out to her brother Morgan, who's a good friend of mine who's listening right now from Los Angeles. Actually just got back to LA from Italy. So Morgan Carey, shout out to you, man. Thanks for supporting the show down there in Los Angeles. All right, where do we leave off? We were talking about music. I asked you some artists that who you respect, what you want to see more in terms of outreach opportunities for you and other artists for branding awareness purposes, to be able to get more time on stage, to be properly recognized. I've been saying this now since I've been on there, and I've been saying this for years. Whoever it is, a promoter or a venue owner, needs to put something into place where it's a competition, where you get, and you and I may end up doing this, Scott, is 3 or 4 artists on that stage each week, and then every 4th week on the calendar month, you choose a winner, and they either get studio time, they get an on-air interview with me, they get graphic artwork for their CD cover, they get a collaboration with yourself, a Huey P, another artist out there,
Great
Cash.
idea.
I mean, there's multiple avenues and streams that we can put into place, and I haven't seen it done yet.
That's a great idea.
And I'm surprised that I haven't seen it done yet. So I would challenge anybody to beat me to this, because I'm a competitive guy, and if anybody does it before you or I, whoever else does it, we'll beat them to it.
I'm gonna win every week anyway.
Yeah, there you go. You got that confidence instilled, and you got and another interesting thing that you said too is all the no's that you hear, and you got to have that proper frame of mind to convert those no's into yeses, because people are so quick to say no. People are so quick to not give you the proper respect and traction level that you deserve as an artist. And speaking to other artists there too, and I've said this for years, that you got to convert those no's into yeses.
That's right.
Well, one thing on the format of the show that I wanted to throw out there before we get this phone call coming in is today we don't have a bud tender with us.
Okay.
But every Friday we come in here to end our show, we're going to be bringing a different bud tender come up here, and we're going to quiz them on all different kinds of weed facts, and at the end of it, we'll give them their little 30-second spot to support and talk about whatever they want to.
I think we have our next on-caller. Do we have Joe Anderson on the line?
Yep, that's me.
Joe Anderson, welcome to the big show on a Friday afternoon, Studio 110.live. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Bothell, Washington.
Bothell. Well, welcome to the show. Thanks for. Does the show sound good this afternoon in Bothell?
Yeah, it does. It does.
Great.
Sounds good everywhere from what I can tell. I mean,
Thank you very
been up
much.
north, I've been down south.
I appreciate that. We're a local and national and international show, so that's the nice thing about this show. All right, Joe, my show producer Erica's informed me that you and Matthew and who else do we got? Gary and Nolan have all put a lot of hard work and time into giving me some fun jokes. So let's see what you got there, Matthew. The floor is yours, and Scott, my co-host, with me on our new segment that we do Friday afternoon, every Friday from 2 to 3, is listening closely as well. Can you hear me, Matthew?
I think you scared him.
Did I scare him? Didn't mean to scare him. Matthew, can you hear me, Matthew? Looks like we lost Matthew, so maybe Matthew will call back, and hopefully he'll call back, because I want to make it fair, Scott. 4 people tried, and we will give someone the proper dedication and respect to ultimately be able to have them win the OI care package, the tickets to this upcoming show at Showbox. And what else do we got? And then we got the Laugh Your Ass Off with Icons of Comedy Jam tickets. I mean, that's just a star-studded, top-notch prize package right there. If you ask me, that's has no dollar amount. It's almost priceless. Just the opportunities that we're providing for these winners. All right, you touched on that we normally are going to have a bud tender on Fridays.
We'll be bringing a bud tender by for a bud tender game, and then we'll come up with a cool little quiz for them and throw them through the fire. Okay. And at the end of it, we'll get to give them their own little 30-second spot to advertise for their store.
There you go. And since we're giving them that, what are they going to do in return for us? Is Studio 110.live going to be all over that store and every single member of their employee going to be putting it on their social, because I think that's where the business, at least that I'm in.
In the business that the 502 world, they're not allowed to really swag them out, but we can swag them out all we want and get them to throw slaps up.
Good. For sure. Good. Abso-frickin-lutely. All right. So let's transition to you here, King Snog. And you've been in the business now for a little while, and you've accomplished a couple of things. And let's talk about what you've done up to this date, and what you're ultimately hoping to accomplish with your kind of new unveilment.
Well, man, I've been doing a lot of things, man. I've been in the cannabis industry as far as I go back to the medical days. I was a grower back then, and I worked with a lot of people around here, people like the Joint and CCC and all that. I came back now. I'm doing 502 sales now. I was growing for it was almost a year or something like that. And I do the sales for the concentrates for that company. But Scott and I, we have it's actually Scott, I, and my buddy Joe. We have a company called the Fungus Brothers LLC, and we're working on a web series TV show.
Okay.
About four friends who get turned into mushrooms overnight and their journey to get back to being human again. Working with a lot of people on that. But I've always got all kinds of things going, like the good stuff, the name of our little segment we're doing here.
Yeah.
That's my brand, and I'm hoping to build that up. And
great.
Me as a person too, build up my media reach, and just kind of, I'm just trying to get paid, man, trying to change my life and better myself,
Well, you're in a multi-billion-dollar industry, so I'm sure, that the paycheck should be rolling in,
I'm in the
sooner
right
than
place,
later.
buddy. I'm just putting myself in front of the right people, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. So out of all the things that you've accomplished on the growing side, on the business side, on the retail side, what have you enjoyed kind of dabbling, no pun intended, into effect so far up to reach?
I love everything that has to do with creative human expression, art, all that stuff. My favorite thing that I do right now is I work with a quadriplegic artist named Jesse Higman.
Okay.
And I'm basically like his assistant, but we're partners too, and we do these big giant pieces, 4x8 pieces that we pour watercolors with mica flakes in them and stuff, and it's pretty new. No one else is doing that kind of thing, and that's my favorite thing that I'm into right now, aside from what we're doing right now, because actually right now what we're doing right now is my most favorite thing. To be honest with you.
Studio 110.live. Is this Joe Anderson?
Yeah, I lost you there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was on our end, but maybe it was. We're 33 floors up here in a beautiful building here, broadcasting out of Bellevue. So if it was our end, our apologies. The floor is yours, Matthew, to give Scott and I and our in-studio audience. Put us in tears, please.
I think we got the joke.
That was funny.
That was hilarious.
Was that the actual? I think that may have been the joke. So, we'll give the guy maybe one more shot at it. But if. Are
you there with us?
Are you there with
Sorry,
us?
are you talking to me right now?
Yes. Give us your joke.
You answered the phone and asked if it was GLA, and then you asked for a joke from Matthew. So I was listening, waiting for somebody else to start talking.
Yeah, no, Joe.
There we go.
Joe Anderson, the floor is yours, Joe.
Alrighty. So I guess mine's more of a current event. I just recently saw online that scientists at NASA have recently discovered that the gases circling around the planet Uranus do smell like fart. So I guess the joke ultimately is that some child grew up to become an astronaut. We spend billions of dollars for them to send drones into research space, and it came back telling us something that we've already known for thousands of years. Uranus smells like farts.
Not bad. I saw the amount of creative work and flow that went into this. I'm sure you've been thinking about this and putting this into proper grid for, about a week now, or what?
A couple of days.
Probably
too long to think about any kind of anus.
So it's none of my business. It's none of my business to know if you're in whatever relationship you're in. But is this harbored in terms of you being not giving the proper accordance and dedication to dinner table conversation? You've had to excuse yourself because you were coming on Dirty Harry's show to give a joke. I would hope that it hasn't caused any disruption in the household, because I'm sure it took a lot. I'm sure it took a lot of hard work to come up with that joke. So.
No, not at all. No, you went real deep there, though.
Well, that's what I try to do. All right, Scott, what would you give Mr. Joe Anderson on that one, or does he need to say it again?
No, I got the joke.
Okay. Okay.
I would say valiant effort.
Yeah. So on a 1 to 10.
We'll go with the 6.
Okay, a 6.
Well, a 10 is a 10. A 6 is a 6.
What would you give him over there? We have a successful artist here from the Northwest who messes with Tech Nine, a very well established national, international artist. So the high jump bar is pretty high in the studio today. So what would you give him?
I'm gonna have to give him I'm gonna have to give you an honest 2.
A 2.
I'm gonna have to give you an honest 2.
But he's being honest to Joe Anderson, and sometimes, like we just talked about this, you've got to take the proper constructive critique. I mean, if you're an artist, if you're trying to be a comedian, if you're just doing this for fun, whatever you're doing, you just can't hide behind the curtain and just start crying that someone gave him a 2.
Yeah.
So that's what it is. All right, Joe, I appreciate it. I will inform my show producer which contestant today will ultimately walk away with the Comedy Jam tickets, the prize package from Oi clothing brand, and these wonderful tickets to an upcoming event here locally at one of the show boxes. I think it's I don't want to say which show box it is. There's only 2, but I don't want to say it's the Market and then it's frickin' Soto. So thank you for your time, Joe, this afternoon, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend.
Hey, back at you guys. Have a good one.
You too. Thank you very much. That was Joe Anderson, our final contestant trying to win these Comedy Jam tickets. And I don't know, man. I'm thinking Matthew probably should be the winner. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, high five, Matthew. You made me chuckle.
Yeah, Matthew was. I mean, none of them put any tears in my eyes, and that's what I. I mean, I wasn't expecting any of them to, but when we talk about jokes, it should be just absolutely hilarious.
Which joke was Matthew, by the way?
Yeah, well, he was the one. What was the one? Scott, something about a porn star and Trump.
Yeah, porn star and Trump. They both blow. They both blow their jobs.
Yeah.
No.
I like the guy who gave the second joke and kind of like tried again. He seemed like he really wanted it. I mean, I guess it wasn't as funny, but he just seemed like he really wanted it. So I like him.
So you would give it then. So King Snog, then you'd give it to, if I have my notes correctly, you would give it to Gary Frankie then.
I think so.
He was the second one. We actually gave him.
No, I just mean the guy who just did the 2 jokes. We gave him a second chance.
Okay, because Gary Frankie, the second contestant at 2:13 local time, got a 4 out of a 10, and this guy Joe Anderson just got a 6. He gave him a 2.
I think I'm thinking of Nolan.
Okay, Nolan was.
He came with that weird gay joke in the beginning that was a little off, but then he tried again and it wasn't too bad.
Yeah, Nolan was our first one, and I think between Scott and I, he gave him a 6 and I gave him a 5. So maybe Nolan should be the winner of choice today. But I'm gonna consult with my show producer after I get off the air, and then we will make the proper decision. Because I mean, this is a massive prize. It's a frickin' collaboration with Oi brand. It's these tickets for this upcoming event at Showbox, and it's Laugh Your Ass Off with Icons of Comedy Jam tickets. So most other outlets out there would you're lucky if you frickin' get a bumper sticker to put on your bumper of your car. Who even does those anymore? So, all right. With that being said, back to our wonderful cannabis segment that Scott, you've been working on so hard behind the scenes. I get your evening text messages in terms of all the collaboration effects that are going into place here for all the guests that we're bringing in. Who's our next priority? So we've covered music, we've covered the business kind of daily approach on where ultimately where cannabis needs to get to.
Well, the first time I ever really saw that cannabis was really starting to become a business was on Jay and Silent Bob.
Okay. When
Jay and Silent Bob, and in one of their scenes, he's like, "Oh, you got your card too?" He's like, "Yeah, I got my card. You in union yet? No, we're not union." So in that scene, I really saw it, and it made me think that there are people across this whole country who think that they can just drive over here and get a job selling weed. But it's really, really a different story here. So I wanted to bring DJ on a little bit to talk about what it's like to build up to where stores will actually let you come in and even sample them.
So if you can come closer to the mic, great question, Scott. That's why you're the co-host here.
All right, man. I would say that, really the biggest thing is building relations. You got to get to know your people. You got to know them well. You got to know what they need, not just know what you're shoving down their throat.
Do you come in a suit?
No, never. No, I look just like I do every day. Man, I got a hat on and a True Religion T-shirt and some polo jeans.
And when was the last time you even wore a suit?
Man, court.
Yeah. There you go.
That was a long time ago, right?
There you go. Yeah, he just the reason I asked that question is he doesn't necessarily resemble someone that would wear. So we all have our own style, you know. Some of us are, you know, the frickin' blazers, leather jackets, you know, true religions. I mean, we all have our own look. So that's what I like about fashion. You know, we all have our own identity. Oi brand, the different brands out here in the Northwest. And once again, shout out to Oi brand, man, for the collaborations that we got in effect with them here at Studio 110 Live. Yep, you can see, you can go on their website, Oi brand. What's the normally I don't like off mic. Oibrand.com. Thank you very much. Oibrand.com. Check out their full collection in product place. So yeah, go back please to Scott's question.
So what are some of the things you run into that you wouldn't think of being a salesperson just going to a store to sell something?
Oh man, straight up hate. Some people just got a brand that's already making them money and they don't want to hear you. So even if you had something better or something that reached out to more people that could get more, you know, consumers in their store, any of the above, they don't want to hear it. They're already set in their ways. You know, it's just sometimes you just got to keep banging on the door till you get what you need.
Yeah. Being consistent, just being consistent and being persuasive and just not letting your guard down and getting what you want. So, kind of a question for you: where did you move up here from?
I'm from Port Orchard, from the.
Oh, you're from here.
Peninsula,
Okay,
yeah.
okay. So you just kind of migrated over. You were from the state, but and you know I'm not one to take personally. This is me personally. I don't take up much in terms of recreational opportunities and in terms of enjoying marijuana and cannabis, but I know it does, and especially when we talk about the medical side of it and the stories that I hear about people that are really in pain. Who gave me a great story was my boy Ricker, another legend in Seattle radio. Mike Ricker, he was up here with me. He's been up here a few times, but he told me about a story about someone that he knew that had some sort of skin issue on their face, and they used an oil application and they put it on 6 times, and it healed itself.
Yeah, I had a sales rep that was 60, 62 years old. She was awesome. When I send the young whippersnapper kid into a store and they just don't react to him at all, I'll send her as the relief, and she'll walk in there and just smooth them all over. But she had cancer in both sides of her cheeks, and her doctor wanted to treat her on one side with chemotherapy, and she wanted to treat the other side with RSO. And the part that she treated with RSO literally pushed the cancer out of her face, and it picked it right off. And the other side, she actually had to be cut down into it and have it all cut out. So she swears, and she is Carolyn was her name. She swears that RSO was the best thing for her, and for skin cancer, it literally pushed it out of her skin.
Great, and I love hearing those types of happy ending stories. Where everybody knows medical bills, they can pile up and they can affect people financially royally, and when you can just have the opportunity to go to your local retailer, whether it be Uncle Ike's or Diego or any of these fine establishments around the Northwest, and to be able to get what suits you and be able to use it and have the ending result, and that's what makes me happy. So it's good to hear that, man.
So DJ, one more question for you real quick. And if you had to give advice to a crack shot car salesman from, let's say, Kansas, that is coming to Seattle to try to get into the weed game, what would you tell him?
Well, actually, that's a pretty good question, because I come from the car world, from car salesmen and cannabis. So if you don't know cars, you don't sell cars. If you don't know cannabis, don't sell cannabis. Stick to what you know.
He actually gave me some really good. As a new salesman, he I hit him up. I don't know. We hung out on Tuesday. Yeah, and so I hit him up, and he just I had my first sample drop off the next day for 5 different places, and I put a lot of I took a lot of mental notes on what he said and put that into practice. And seriously, thank you so much. It really helped out a lot.
Good.
And just. Thank you, brother.
Cool. Next question here would be real quick for Lenny.
Yeah, yes.
And Lenny was my main sales guy through all medical times. We switched over to recreation, and then he kind of elevated into the management position and became the senior sales trainer of the whole business. So coming from medical to recreation, what can you see the major differences in our market has been?
Oh, it's a straight up business now compared to back then. I could go in my trunk full, 20 grand worth of product and go right to the store and they buy it. Now I have to go through a lot of hoops to get the product to the store.
Yeah. One thing that and I want someone here to be able to help me understand this, and Alejandro and I talked about this when he was in the studio with me from Diego, and I understand it to a degree, but I still can't wrap my head around it. That he mentioned that laws are so strict that when a customer walks into an outlet of their choice to be able to get their fulfill their needs for cannabis purposes, they can't ask if they ask to use the bathroom, they can't use the bathroom. They can't be given a cup of water, and you can't sell merchandise. You can't sell a T-shirt in a retail recreational environment, and I don't understand. I have no idea why someone wouldn't be able to use the bathroom, for Pete's sakes. I mean, I was denied the bathroom in Warsaw, Poland, and Warsaw, Poland is a lot different than Seattle. And I like to be able to be properly told why, if I walked into a cannabis spot, I can't use a bathroom.
Yeah, that one I really don't know about on the bathroom, but I can tell you that they don't sell any other products like T-shirts or pipes and bongs and stuff like that, is because of the taxes, because they have to turn in their money and they have to turn in taxes. We have to do our taxes every month, and there's 37.5% taxes, and then there's 10% retail tax. So that's 47.5% taxes on every item that sells. And if they sold a T-shirt out of there, it'd have to be 47.5% taxes on that T-shirt too.
Wow. I'm so against local wonderful businesses out there that just want to be able to sell a nice T-shirt and not have to tax someone 47% on a T-shirt. I mean, what are we talking? $22 T-shirt. After taxes in there, we're talking what? Damn near. What?
Well, in medical times, go ahead. On medical times, we used to sell like a joint for $8 wholesale, and they only had to double their price in medical times and sell it for $16. Then we went to the market with the same $8 joint, and they had to sell it for $24 because of the taxes. And all the customers that we built, all the fan base that we built, they all scoffed their head at it because they have to pay 30% more now for the exact same product that they've been smoking for years. So it's one of those things that a lot of the brands that, corporate consolidation, I believe, was part of the plan. What corporate consolidation means is they gave a lot of licenses to drug dealers, and those drug dealers don't know how to run businesses, and those businesses fail. And now we're going in, year 4, almost year 5, and all of the big businesses who are ran by corporate leaders, they buy all the small failing businesses. So when we're looking at thousands of licenses out there, now we only have 700 owners.
So if I wanted to, just one random morning, wake up and I wanted to have a dream to open up my own cannabis store called the Dirty Harry Specials, and I wanted to acquire a license to be able to do it properly, what do I need to come up with to be able to do that?
That's the Lenny question.
Oh, I don't know about that. It's all over the board. There's so much paper you have to go through, and then find someone that's available too. It basically took us 9 months to switch over.
You can come a little closer to the mic here for me.
It took us about 7 to 9 months to even get our license, and we were already up and going.
Yeah, I heard it's well over $1 million. So.
Oh yeah.
Well over $1 million just to be able to acquire a license, at least for the city of Seattle.
They used to allow you to buy the application and then find a location for it, but I don't think you can do that anymore because they're all out there. So you have to buy something that's already set somewhere.
Go ahead.
Or you could talk to a guy like me. I broker for people's licenses all the time. There's people out here with failing businesses or holding up a building that doesn't have anything going for it, and they're just paying for a license monthly. I help them sell it off to a guy that has a dream this morning.
So you're kind of like you're a cannabis agent then.
I'm the guy, bro. I'm the guy. Just give me a call.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying I want to do it. I'm just saying that if I ever had one, I think it could be a fun idea. Dirty Harry's cannabis, store. Would I have to tax people if I wanted to broadcast from it? Would I have to cut through all this additional red tape?
If you're accepting money into that business, that money goes through the tax system.
Yeah. Makes sense. And I'm sure a lot of that has to do with the Seattle City Council, who makes things way harder than they need to be. I'm not going to speak for other states, but
a future guest we are bringing in is Seattle City Attorney Pete Holmes. He just came with me to Oklahoma.
Great.
And we spoke to the Oklahoma City Council and had a big panel, and he was just one of the most intelligent people out there. He sued Trump 4 times this year. He sued Monsanto. He's suing all of the drug companies that are making opiates. 30 different companies he's suing. It's going to be a great conversation. I can't wait for that.
Well, let's why don't for that one, and I'll help you with it because I've got plenty of contacts at the TV stations. But let's get TV in here and let's get some TV coverage and press for good old Peter in here. All right. With that being said, another question that I have is it a true fact, and whoever wants to answer this can, that in terms of the overall projected sales, that when you walk into like an Uncle Ike's or to the Diego or wherever you're watching, are more people buying items like this in terms of the cartridges? Alejandro mentioned that he has the special glass blown ones, like that looks like the Chihuly, that go for I think $8,000 to $10,000 per whatever you call these things, the cartridges or the pens. Ultimately, are we seeing a kind of a mini kind of trickle effect in sales overall in terms of people buying the actual plant in correlation in conjunction now with the items like this?
Well, weed will always be weed. You got to start with flour, right? So, I mean, before you have a pre-roll, you got to have it to grind it up. So flour sales are usually leading the market, 50, 60%.
Okay.
Behind that is your concentrates, usually about 30, 40% as well. And then, about, I'd say 10 to 15% of your topicals, edibles, and so on.
Okay.
So.
And what are we seeing flying off the shelves? I mean, just from the traction that it sounds like you deal with a lot of stores out there. What are some popular items that people are acquiring that's doing well for them right now?
Harmony Farms, the indigo pens.
Okay.
I'd say dabbable, a lot of concentrates.
Okay.
I mean, the flowers are still leading sales. So, I mean, that says its own right there. But, concentrates for the up-and-comers is a big thing.
Okay.
All the different ways to ingest it. Medical's making a comeback, so people are, creating, people are making water-soluble concentrates now that you can eat in pill form. So people that are, having issues with cancers, epilepsy, multiple sclerosis, things like that, they'll help ease symptoms as well.
Well, thanks to my guy Scott, not only did he bring me in a wonderful group of people that are so knowledgeable in the cannabis local scene here, if not around the state, and I always like gifts. So right now in my hand, I've got two. I've got this is a cone, and this is a one same overall.
Not at all.
Not at all.
This is actually an announcement right now, and this is the release announcement of a brand new product that is going to go national. So you have the one cone that's a head PE, 2 half-gram Keef cones. You download the QR code on there, and you get a song download on the joint.
Nice.
The other one is a hemp stick, 0 THC, all CBDs. Can ship anywhere in the country. It's like an ibuprofen you smoke.
Cannabis.
No cannabis. It's an ibuprofen that you smoke, and it doesn't hit your liver. It doesn't get stuck in your kidneys. And it's something that's healthy, and it works.
Good.
It really works. It's 5 times more CBDs than you find in regular weed.
I'm actually curious about that because I had a couple people ask me already what the percentage of the CBD is on there.
Yeah, it's going to range from 11 to 15%.
Right on.
And this is an object that it really is. The orders are starting to get crazy on it. We just got a separate warehouse because we can't mix THC and hemp. We have a separate warehouse just for all CBD products now.
Great. And forklifts in there, and people lifting up big, huge boxes. Floors way up in the air, and hard hats and everything.
We're definitely getting there. Yeah.
Good. I want to come tour that. So.
Yeah, this is the hemp stick is a product that, again, High Tunes does have their logos on the hemp stick as well.
Good.
And when you download it, you get the certificate of analysis first off that shows you from the test results that this doesn't have any THC inside of it.
Okay, well, I didn't want to fake the funk and didn't want to, sound like I'm, Uncle Ike's business partner here, Ian, and so I had to ask the appropriate questions because, I'm very honest with my listening audience. I do not personally smoke, and that's just my personal choice. So when you handed me these, I needed the proper, flight
Absolutely.
plan and explanation. Can we start giving away things like this on the air, or do we have to cut through red tape and go through
hemp sticks? Absolutely.
Okay.
On the weed,
Okay.
we'd have to actually buy it from a store and to be able to have it. But the hemp sticks as well, there's one thing that you need to know on that for yourself. If you don't smoke, then that whole joint can go down into hot water and stir it. And it's going to turn it into a blueberry hemp tea, and you still get all the CBDs without having to smoke it.
There you go. I wanted to ask that last question about upcoming giveaways on the show, and I wanted to ask you before we have to start texting Pete Holmes to see if we can get the proper permission to be able to give away these prizes, because there's always a suit at the end of the day. There's always a suit and a tie that you have to get stuff clear through. So,
hey, speaking about giveaways, if you ain't gonna smoke that High Tunes cone,
you want it? Well, with that being said, right now, that makes me actually want to keep it more and just put it on display at the house or something.
I'll give you the 2.
Well, what do these normally go for? What's the price point on these, real quick?
About $10.
$10. All right, not bad. So $20 right here in my hand.
For the cone, this is $10. For the hemp sticks, about $20.
All right, so $30 right here in my hand. I mean, that's it's a good price point for two fun however we're going to classify these cones or however we're going to classify them. I need to brush up on my. You need next time, before next Friday, give me a cannabis quiz.
Well, that's what we're actually going to be doing with the bud tenders at the end of every show. So you should actually be a part of that too.
Well,
learn from it.
I have no problem embarrassing myself, but I want to quiz, and we'll see if I actually fail it or not. Because I need to call my buddy Ian and other players here in the community to get me. I know the core basics about cannabis. I know what I need to know from being a radio host, but I don't know the true core ins and outs of the business. So I appreciate Scott for having my back and being a wonderful co-host. And I'm excited about this partnership that's into play. It sounds like this is going to be a pretty big deal, not only here in the Northwest, but nationally with some of these other radio stations that we're talking about teaming up with. I want to give a huge happy birthday shout out to one of my first in-studio guests this afternoon, the legend, the man that's so well respected nationally and internationally. He goes by DJ Nasty Ness. He opened the door. He's responsible for Sir Mix-a-Lot's career. He's also responsible to a degree for Macklemore's career, and he's responsible for sure for my career. He got me into Def Jam Records. He believed in me. And then I went to Cube Radio, the former radio station, for 19 years of my life. So shout out to Nasty Ness. Thank you for surprising me getting on that jet yesterday down in Los Angeles and coming up here. He surprised the hell out of me last night at Substation, the show that I hosted. I had 3 appearances last night, back to back to back. And it was a wonderful 17-hour day yesterday. So with that being said, we're going to sign off for the day. Scott, thank you again for bringing in your crew. Oi Brand, I want to thank Oi Brand, the High Children, Jason and Jamal, my producer and assistant Erica, the entire staff here at Studio 110. Super excited for my launch party tomorrow night. It's going to be a big deal. We got DJs. We got other people flying up. We got surprises. It's going to be definitely the talk of the town. So super excited for that. I'm going to go look for an outfit if I can get out of here at a reasonable time. If not, I'll have to do it tomorrow. Erica's nodding her head like she's got a million things for me to do. Like, doing a talk show for multiple hours is a full-time job in itself. So with that being said, at least give me a cup of water so I can at least just decompress here a little bit before we get back to other business. Have a wonderful weekend out there. If you're on the West Coast, you got 2 hours before you can abandon the papers on the desk and kick the boss's butt. And with that being said, I'll be excited to get back on the air and give my proper picture and placement and let everybody know how I thought the surprise party went down. Of course, I'm going to speak highly of it because people have been working frickin' till 11:30 at night to make sure this thing goes off without a frickin' hitch. So super excited about that. We're on time. Hope you all have a wonderful weekend, locally, nationally, internationally. And your boy Dirty Harry will be back on it Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 Pacific Standard Time, Studio 110.